Hello everybody and welcome to the West Ham YouTube channel. It is the Watchalong. It is West Ham United versus Liverpool. Usual suspects, Angus, Charles, Dennis are all here. Lads, before we get onto the lineups, and we've only got 15 minutes, how are we feeling about today's game? Positive?
Yeah, I think, and we will obviously touch on the lineups a bit later, but it could go one of two ways today. I think we can play with freedom and go out and try and get 3 points, or, we let Liverpool push onto us and dictate the game, even with a starting lineup that perhaps doesn't actually beat ours. So we'll just have to wait and see. But I'm confident. I mean, we're on form, 6 on the bounce, unbeaten in 2021. So why can't we? Why can't we?
That's what I love to hear, mate. That's what I love to hear. Charles, thoughts about today's game coming into it?
I mean, Dennis said this before we just went on, but if there's ever a time to beat Liverpool, it's today. I mean, with Mane out of the squad entirely and with Firmino on the bench, and obviously with all the defensive problems and injuries that Liverpool have had, I mean, you've just got to take advantage of it. I mean, I'm feeling confident, but the trouble is, we know what a weakened Liverpool side is not necessarily a bad side. They've still got strengths. They've still got a lot of attacking sort of potential, and that centre midfield is still strong. So I am feeling confident. I think we do need to take advantage, and like Angus says, don't let them take control of the game. We need to take control of the game early. But yeah, I mean, if we play our best, then we should definitely win today.
Yeah, I mean, we touched on it previously, but Dennis, obviously, Mikel Antonio is in the squad today as compared to the reverse fixture. Liverpool have lost a couple of players. Charles did say it, and their midfield is still very, very strong. But how are you feeling generally? Do you think West Ham can get that result, even if it is just a draw?
Yeah, I mean, look, this is the type of game that traditionally we would be looking at damage limitation. Liverpool have turned us over so many times over the years. As I said, last Liverpool game, even to keep it respectful would be, I wouldn't say like a win, but it's not as demoralising. Whereas there's a real sense where, you've got Klopp on the TV right now. He's on the defensive already. Normally he's on the defensive post-match. I think there really is a sense that Liverpool are quite beleaguered. They've got, I don't think they've got a single centre-back today. Have they? I haven't quite looked at the Liverpool lineup.
Yeah, they've got one, and they've got one reserve on the bench, but no senior centre backs to a degree.
No senior centre backs. I mean, Mikel Antonio should excel today. It really depends on how adventurous we want to be. But ultimately, look, confidence is up. We got our tails up. But I did make a joking prediction on the fans' voice that it'd be a 3-1 with Salah getting sent off for diving. Be nice, but it'd be nice.
Yeah, we can have
Salah red cards, 10-game ban, Jurgen Klopp meltdown, Liverpool fans getting a tinfoil hats out about a conspiracy. That's what it's going to be.
Yeah, but nonetheless, listen, I think it changes things in terms of the front line, and it'll be interesting to see how West Ham react to that and respond to it, because obviously we've got the same lineup as on Tuesday evening. I wonder whether we'll get a little bit more freedom in this game. You can't discount Liverpool, like we touched on the midfield. Trent Alexander-Arnold getting in good form as well on Thursday evening. Andy Robertson is still there, so there's still a strong side. But let's get into it. Let's give us the key details behind it all. Yes, as you'll see, it's a 4-3-3. Trent and Andy Robertson with Nat Phillips filling in alongside Jordan Henderson. Wijnaldum playing in the pivot role, as I imagine as he did on Thursday. James Milner and Thiago playing the number 8 with Mohamed Salah and Xherdan Shaqiri alongside Divock Origi. West Ham completely unchanged from the last game. I've put Said Benrahma on the left. He'll probably turn up in the number 10 role, 4 now to that left-hand side, with both Rice and Souček as the pivots. And the same bench, nothing changing. I just think they are still going to be problematic, but I think it could give West Ham a little bit more freedom in this game to get forward. I said in the preview, I thought we'd have to sit behind the ball for quite a bit, but they're losing those kind of avenues of play that they can get to West Ham. So they are weakened, and fingers crossed we can get something, particularly from set pieces. We haven't even touched on that yet, because that could be a real strong area for West Ham.
I think the biggest strong point from the Palace game was the running and the work rate, and we know how prevalent Liverpool are with that high press that they always like to do. So I actually think the last time we played them, we didn't look as fit as we did against Palace in midweek. So it'll be interesting to see just how that high press affects us today, and whether we can sort of temper that with the amount of hard work we've got in that midfield and in that attacking third. So yeah, I mean, like you say, Corey, it's gonna, there's definitely opportunities to open them up, but we still have to be cautious that this Liverpool team can do damage, and particularly with creative players, like Salah and Thiago, people like that who can just break you down at any time. We have to make sure that we keep on going for sure.
Thiago's a problem because the way that Thiago's being used, I think when he first came into Liverpool, he's playing in that sitting role. Now he's playing a bit further forward, and he's an unbelievable football player. Let's get it right. Technically, he's superb. We're just going to have to keep him quiet. I fancy it a little bit more today. I think Divock as well isn't going to be as active as Firmino, particularly in moving around and trying to keep the ball. So these are slight positives. Hopefully, I don't get proven wrong in this game.
Well, if you look at Anfield, perhaps you could say that the only reason that we didn't get a result from that was the final, 20 minutes, 30 minutes of the game, and it was similar against City earlier on in the season. We pretty much matched them for, majority of the game and then got outnumbered and, it was just their boots at the end because we were trying so hard to keep up with the pace. But if you look at Liverpool, that's a side that doesn't have necessarily the running carry that it usually has. Obviously, we've spoken about Mane, who's out, and if you look at Firmino, who's not in the side either, he's someone that can create the space and provides a headache to deal with, even when the ball's not at his feet. And then you look at the defence, and you've got the likes of Trent, who we know it can be exposed down that right-hand side. He's not very good defensively. And, he's a world-class player, and fine, I'll hold my hands up and say that. But that's still with the fact that he isn't, and that's the reason why, the likes of Fornals have scored 2 in 3 against Liverpool. And then you look at, I will say, thankfully, Reece Williams is on the bench for them. In terms of thankfully for Liverpool, because he was absolutely shocking against United midweek. And so, but we've got a CDM to deal with playing out of position, and we've got Phillips in there who did have a good game last time out against us. But the questions can definitely be asked of them. I think Thiago is the key one, and Corey, you touched on it. I think that is definitely a job for Deck to do today. A job probably similar to the one that he's had to do on Bruno Fernandes and co. Because he's an incredibly world-class player and likes the ball at his feet, and the passes that he can pick out are insane. So let's just hope that he's not necessarily as strong as he has been in previous games, especially for Munich. And just, fingers crossed.
Yeah, I think a positive as well today. You touched on Trent and obviously covered it in the preview. His tendency to try and come a little bit central. You can tell that he's going to eventually become a centre midfielder or even possibly like a number 10 with his quality and just the way he plays. So it does expose that left-hand side. But equally, what was interesting when I watched a couple of Liverpool games was the fact that Mane's work rate defensively massively goes under the radar for Robertson. Not having him in the side today could actually benefit us as well on the left. So I'm not saying it's easy by any stretch of the imagination. It does diminish them a little bit. But we've got to use Mikel Antonio in this game, particularly against those two centre-backs. This is a real good opportunity from open play for West Ham to get in behind.
Yeah, well, they weren't necessarily quite strong last time out again at Anfield, but we played with Seb up top, who was isolated for majority of the game. Let's face the facts that they will have majority of the possession, and so Mickey will be... he will be the lone one up top that doesn't get much of the ball. But the difference with Mickey is the way that he's able to create chances both on the ball and the key is off the ball. If you're as dangerous off the ball as you are on the ball, then you're an extremely good player. And arguably, Mickey is someone that can do that with the space he creates, the physicality, his aerial threat as well in terms of nodding it on. Whereas Seb, perhaps, you would have said that would have been one of his strong suits when he came in. But, the only questions he seemed to ask were in the box when he had his final touch, whether it be a bicycle kick or a header or the like. But Mickey, can do it all over the pitch. Let's hope that, he asks the right questions.
100%, mate. Danny in the chat says, have I missed a well-played Leeds? He is a Leeds fan. Favour. Yes, well done, Leeds. Yeah, it was a very good
Bamford was absolutely immense.
I haven't seen the game. I would never have predicted.
I only caught the last 25 minutes, but he was fucking quality.
He was. He's in my FPL team as well, so I'm very happy.
Tell you what, the league this year is so unpredictable. Literally, I would never have seen that coming. So, fair play. It does leave things open. I'm really intrigued by this game. I really, really am.
Well, Leicester really missed Vardy and Ndidi.
And Ndidi was the big thing. And Ndidi was the massive thing, that pressing midfield to win that battle. And obviously they've lost him and Leeds have somehow.
The third goal was just catching on the counter, but the second one came from, in my opinion, a defensive mistake by Leicester. Sonshu and Evans both missed sitters from corners. It could have been any other way, but Leeds took their chances. A good performance. Not take anything away from them. does us a favour. I mean, I thought that if we won today, we'd go third, but we actually go a point off Leicester. But it will be 7 in a row that we've won if we win today.
Let's deal with that. Let's deal with that
Unbeaten in 9 as well.
No, shut up, Dennis.
Come on! I'm Mr. Negativity. I'm going to be positive for once.
Dennis, that better be your lucky turtleneck, mate.
Yeah, get the sunnies on, mate. Get the sunnies on.
Get the chain on.
Yeah, go on.
I have not got a gold chain.
I
will invest in one.
Pull off the look.
Lads, we haven't. I don't know if we've spoken about this or not because we haven't been together since. But obviously, Jesse Lingard has now actually signed for West Ham. He isn't on the bench today. Dennis, don't ever do that again.
I didn't even see that. I don't think I want to.
Missed it,
the dab was it? Was it the dab?
I did the Jay Lings.
But no, I mean, look, I think he's going to go into the side for the Aston Villa game. Do you think he'll get minutes on Tuesday, or do you think Moyes will give it a while before we start to see Lingard a little bit more prominently?
Yeah, I think it won't take anywhere near as long as it took Ben Rama to get in, but I can't see him coming in and displacing, especially should we win today. You know, Moyes very rarely changes a winning side unless he has to. You know.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, though. Very quickly, it is his signing, and he's made it very clear that is his signing, albeit alone. You know, if you look at Ben Rama, that was a tiny bit 50-50, obviously wanted King and ended up getting Ben Rama, who perhaps he wanted, but not as much as some other players that he lined up. I think with Lingard, the plan is clear. The plan for Jesse is clear, and that's to get as much game time as possible. And that's more game time than he was getting at United. So for me, it doesn't make much sense for him to then slot in, or to not slot in, rather, midweek. So, I think we should expect to see him. And arguably, I think, if he delivers, I think he might replace Ben Rama in that slot. I'm not necessarily sure. Some people saying Fornals might drop to the bench, but I think Fornals has been really good for us the last couple of weeks, as has Ben Rama. But Fornals has really come to the fore, and his work rate is insane, and that is what David Moyes wants. And Jesse Lingard, there's no question that his work rate will also be very, very good, because one, he's desperate for minutes, and two, it's a Moyes signing 100%. So, I can see that happening, and Ben Rama perhaps having to work his way back into the team, but we'll have to wait and see.
I think two things here. I don't know if you lot heard it, but Kevin Nolan's interview when he was discussing the move for Lingard, and he just said it just gives us options, which is a great point. And although we looked at it and said we want a striker, and I still think we need a striker before the deadline tomorrow, and I'm not sure we'll get it, but it is a good point. Equally, the fact that there's such a short turnaround between now and the Villa game, if Lingard has any type of match fitness, I would expect him to feature, and possibly a couple on the bench today, because I'm not convinced we're going to do it in 48 hours to put in that same level of intensity. This game's going to be really, really hard. So possibly they'll look to use him on Tuesday. I don't know. But
I think, I've said before, I don't particularly understand why we've made this particular signing, but obviously Moyes has a lot of respect for him and thinks that he can add something to the team. So I'm not completely against it. I think he's obviously a talented player. He's got a lot of talent that he can offer us. I just think that in other positions we need more depth in other positions than we did in that position. Having said that, I feel like he's definitely got a lot to prove. He wants to get himself back into that team, England team for the Euros. So obviously he's got a lot to prove to not only us but to Southgate as well. And so I think that'll be extra sort of reason for him to do well with us. But overall, I think it's a decent signing. Getting Ben Rama permanently was good as well. He's obviously shown how well he's been doing. But I think most importantly, we've got a day left. We need to get another striker in, whether it be on loan, whether it be signed. I don't care at this point if he's from wherever. We just need someone to back up Antonio, because there is no way that Antonio's going to last to the end of the season.
It's like what I said the other day, playing devil's advocate, in that would you take an underwhelming loan signing?
Yeah, probably.
To sign someone more suitable in summer, like a Daka,
probably,
or whomever.
Yeah, I mean, we shouldn't be in that position.
We should, we don't, like, as much as, like, Yarmolenko, again, it's more thing for fans' voice than a couple of minutes before kickoff, but Yarmolenko does not offer us what Antonio does, and we will have similar problems to Haller if we are with Yarmolenko up top constantly. A little bit more, I'd say, he's maybe got better instincts than Haller with movement, but he's not got the pace, and he certainly is not going to be able to press like Antonio.
Yeah.
And I think it's unfair to expect it. As much as I would love Mippo or one of the other lads to come in and do a good job, you can't rely on that. In the different. I mean, as much as yes, it's unlikely we'll get top four. Let's be fair, we're West Ham. But the big difference finishing between, even if we finish 7th, the big difference financially for us, that is finishing 10th or 11th. And the league's so fucking tight. We could drop down to 10th or 11th quite quickly should we lose our engines in midfield or Antonio. So we really do need someone just to come in,
Well, the point that all West Ham fans feel right now, especially in regards to, sort of the GSB out movement, is the fact that, we're in an incredibly good position right now. Not a position that we ever would have expected at the start of the season, and we have a chance to push on and even try, push for those higher spots even. But the ambition just isn't there from the owners, and it just shows that with 1 day to go in the transfer deadline day, with no signings on the horizon as of now, it's just really disappointing that Moyes is being undermined yet again by sort of owners that just lack ambition, and I just hope that he can get out of the team for the rest of the season what he has got out of them so far. But yeah, disappointing again that we've left it so late.
I've got to be honest. I think if Moyes gets anywhere near where we are now, if we get into Europe or whatever with the squad and how badly he's been managed by the board and the lack of support they've given him, it's an unbelievable season. Even the way he's performing with the squad so far is fantastic because not normally the clubs when we get in this type of position aren't backed. Good owners, ambitious owners will be sitting there and backing Moyes with the players that he wants and saying, we've got a real chance here. Give him the right players and we can push on. So hopefully we get someone. Sorry, mate.
Very quickly before kickoff and kickoff's just.
I've kicked off already.
You can tell straight away that we are well up for this. 100%. You can usually see it in the first 20, 30 seconds before kickoff. You can 100% we are well up for this. No doubt in my mind whatsoever.
Can I just ask everyone to smash a like? Obviously, we have kicked off now. West Ham United versus Liverpool. Come on, you Irons. Give it a good go.
Come on, you Irons.
Mikel Antonio, someone's in trouble here already. I think someone's kicked Wijnaldum in the head.
No, it's Souček's. Yeah, no.
Was it Souček?
Yeah.
It's freezing. Mine class of heads.
It's freezing cold. That would be why.
Yeah, it is absolutely Baltic out there. I went out there
it's chucking it down.
What I would say incredibly quickly, I just wanted to come in with Moyes. Also, credit has to go to the backroom staff. I mean, the backroom staff has made such a difference, I think, especially with the additions made, throughout the season. The return of Stuart Pearce, for example, you can definitely tell the difference for the first 2 games compared to everything since the first game especially, we were terrible. Weren't amazing against Arsenal, but did okay. And since then, we've gone from strength to strength. So it's an overall backroom staff success for me, rather than not taking anything away from Moyes. Just I think rather than just praise Moyes, you have to praise Nolan. You have to praise Nevin.
Oh, mate, we said it the other day though. Like Kevin Nolan for me as well goes under the radar. Nevin, we don't hear a lot about, but now he's got that backroom staff together. We just look solid, mate. We're building something within the team at least. So
I reckon I'm a good at least 30 seconds ahead of you boys because it's on the television.
I'm 150 because I've got Now TV, so it's streamed but on the telly.
Oh God, we got John Moss as a referee today. He's already got himself involved in the game.
Oh, look at Robertson here.
Bowen very well tracking back on Robertson.
Yeah, we're going to need that today, man. We're going to need that.
Yeah, more so than usual.
Funny, you talk about referee interventions like that. In the FA Cup, I reckon I saw it 3 times in the day that we played Doncaster. It was unbelievable, the amount that it was hitting referees and referees were stepping over the ball and stuff. And you can hardly see it in the Premier League, but obviously it's just happened there and we got the ball. So that's all good.
Moss is a hammer, happy days. This will be added to your list of grievances at the end of the game.
Come on.
Yeah.
Referee getting involved and giving West Ham a free kick because he tackled one of my players.
let's just hope we win first, and then we can touch on that.
Oh no! Even if Liverpool win, Jurgen Klopp will have a list of grievances because that's what.
Why they didn't win more?
The referee touching. To be honest, Dennis.
He once blamed the wind when BBC Weather showed there was no wind. Nothing.
I remember that. I do remember for some reason.
Everton, he blamed the wind, and they were like, pundits were like, well, there wasn't actually any wind, so I don't know what he's talking about.
Honestly, really annoys me.
When he blamed the ref after our 1-1 draw when they got a goal that was offside. That was brilliant as well.
Yeah, and the hypocrisy behind the diving as well.
Go on, Ben Rama.
I mean, you've got to give credit to Henderson, though. I mean, he's been a really good player for Liverpool, just all round. The fact that he can just drop into pretty much any position to help them out, he's a great leader as well, great leader for that team. So I do really rate him.
Yeah,
they massively miss him in midfield, though. Like they do. Like, the work he does off the ball and on the ball in midfield is superb. And I started watching a couple of Liverpool games, and you just wouldn't normally pick it up, but they do miss him.
Oh, Reed.
That's a good ball from Thiago. Well done, Craig Dawson.
I saw a stat before he came on saying that apparently this is the 12th different centre back partnership of the season for Liverpool.
It's crazy, man.
Crazy.
I suppose in that respect, you have to have a little bit of sympathy. I mean, that is to get constant injuries in the same position.
Yeah, I would if it wasn't Liverpool.
Cool. Yeah. I find it odd they haven't gone out to buy a centre back. I think they've been linked with Mustafi.
They're trying to, aren't they?
Then
Before the deadline,
have nothing to cry about. That's why.
Yeah, he needs an excuse somewhere.
Yeah. I did say to my mate who's a Liverpool fan that they can have Joey O'Brien. Surely he's available. He can be converted to a centre back.
Yep. Is he still with us?
Yeah.
He's still with Shamrock Rovers.
Oh, Shamrock, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Legend, living legend.
I have to say, Shamrock Rovers is the best name for an Irish football team you could probably think of.
It sounds like an Englishman name then.
It sounds like Roy of Rovers, Roy of Shamrock. He goes over to Shamrock Rovers for his Irish cousin. It sounds like a cartoon football team.
Well, it's like naming a team Guinness FC or something like that.
Yeah.
So Milner's playing in the 8. Corey, you're correct. It's Wijnaldum holding it, and Thiago is quite literally playing the definition of a free roam. So that's that's where the question's going to be asked 100%. It's going to come through him, and that'll be definitely employed to prevent the hold of Declan Rice, I would imagine, on Thiago.
The problem with the way that
Shaqiri
Liverpool
central in a 10, perhaps.
Yeah.
Salah right at the moment. No, Shaqiri up top, to be fair, and Origi. They're just switching it around.
A couple of times, I think, and this is the problem with Liverpool's front line, because they're not really natural centre forwards. They can run from deep, and Salah just did it then. And it's like West Ham attempted to push up, and then they get the ball in behind. He's got such good movement. So we need to be switched onto that. That's going to be a theme today, 100%.
It's funny you mentioned about the potential for Liverpool to sign a centre back. Apparently, one of the big ones, I don't know why it keeps on coming around, but it's Issa Diop on loan.
Yeah.
It said today the fact he's on the bench for us shows that it's not anywhere near as close as.
No, definitely not. But
Ben Roberts press.
Liverpool are really knocking it about at the minute, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, that's what we were saying before the start of the show. Just because it's a weaker Liverpool team doesn't mean that they're any less dangerous.
Well, I mean, we saw what they managed to do against Leicester with arguably an even weaker side than this. To go out and they dominated all facets of that game. This is 2 months back after Van Dijk was out. So it's interesting. We're letting Thiago have a lot of space, albeit on the other side of the pitch to where the ball's being played. But
Wijnaldum has a wild shot over the bar.
Quite interesting.
Switch pass from Robertson.
Go on, Becky. Go on, son.
Deal with it.
Son, go on. Go on, Mickey.
I'm behind, mate. I've just seen one out and Sky one over.
Yeah.
I think it's a really important point as well. The fact that even though Liverpool do have a weakened squad, the way that they play, we just can't afford to go out there and press them and do what we did against Palace. You're asking.
But even just the fact sometimes that they're wearing a Liverpool kit and their name's Liverpool, that seems to count for something these days. No, it's true though. No, it is.
No, I'm laughing,
true.
but I'm agreeing with you. With you.
So by no means is this an easy game or a rollover, or even if you want to kind of look at it position by position. I mean, there are extremely tough battles in there.
With the exception of centre back, this is still an incredibly strong team. The only thing is you've got Henderson playing centre back. He's not as comfortable as all I'm saying. That's not where they're strongest. Whereas Milner is still a fantastic footballer. He may be getting on a bit, and he's not. He's not the most exciting player that Liverpool have, but he certainly would, definitely do a job for us. And a player that I thought could have or should have looked at City. Likelihood of us getting him was not going to happen, but it was back when we used to love a free transfer. I remember we don't want Milner. It was like Milner's available on a free fucking transfer from Man City. Yeah.
Souček in the box there challenging Hendo. So that's the the box to box role that we wanted to play, but it does mean that, and this is the problem sometimes, it does mean that they are at a chance of hitting us on the counter, because then you virtually just got the one holding and you're up against Thiago, Wijnaldum. So that'd be it. It's a massive job for both, and to be fair, it is most games, but for Declan Rice in particular and Thomas Souček to actually, if he's bombing forward, have an impact. And I'm just saying he's making this late run into the box as well. Mickey.
It's going to be a tough one, lads. It's going to be one of them games you just got to be patient.
Yeah, 100%. I think the weather as well doesn't help.
Trying to do some madness, it wasn't happening there.
The weather doesn't help the idea that it's going to open up in the first 30 minutes. I think we could be on for definitely a 0-0 at half time.
I think what's encouraging as well, I know there is an element of risk there, but committing Thomas Souček forward at times, particularly in the knockdowns, possibly getting a chance on goal. I think this game will obviously change if we score a goal here, and Liverpool have to come out and open up a little bit. They look really good on possession at the minute.
And that's the difference. You'd back a Liverpool, I think, most days to, even when they go a goal behind, push on and dominate the game more and dictate the play. Whereas arguably the massive advantage that we have is if we go one goal up, because the role for Thomas Souček becomes a lot more clear and a lot more defensive as well. He won't necessarily play the box-to-box role. Deck will hold, and he's got the support in Souček. And, they don't have the quality, arguably, to break the lines as much as they do. Mane will be looking at this game come second half when we start to open up a bit more. Because that's the inevitable.
It's a great tackle, wasn't it?
Thinking, beautiful. I wish I was playing.
I am encouraged slightly. I did say in the preview it's a risk, but to see our team pressing at times, Rice trying to win the ball, because there are opportunities there, but Dawson with another crunch. Yeah. Only one winner from him in Origi.
I agree. I think it's interesting that I think we've set up well in the sense that we're still pressing a little bit, but we're not selling ourselves, because they're so quick in turning that ball around and playing it around the defensive line. So I think it's good to keep a good defensive shape, which we seem to be doing at the moment, but also still maintain a little bit of that press. To put the pressure
Ben Rama, that is disgusting. Oh,
it was filthy, wasn't it?
Did you see that? That was unbelievable.
It's the one concern first 13 minutes is that I've been watching. My eye's been on Thiago for last couple of minutes, and he is literally playing that perfect free role. And on the cards it looks like we've got two holding, but really if Tommy Souček, we've just been dispossessed. He's not usually in that holding role. Yeah. And Thiago's just started to realise that he can make the runs behind the defence as well. So he's almost like a number 9 at times as well. So So it's going to be very.
I did think that was interesting, mate. Because when I watched the Tottenham game, he's playing in a more advanced role. He's actually joining with the attack as well, and you just don't really associate that with Thiago. But
yeah,
a little bit more of an overload from Liverpool. But Shake's generally quite good here.
Interesting point that Anthony's brought up is that I think that's what makes Lingard signing a little bit even more kind of strange to consider, because the depth that we have in those attacking positions is like so vast, and obviously with Benrahma, Fornals and Bowen all in form, and granted one of them could get injured, it'd be very interesting. It's a very interesting reason to see why we would need someone like Lingard, but I don't see him coming straight in for anyone really right now, especially with the way that we've been playing. But he could prove useful in the future. So
I think the way I get my head around it is that he hasn't been brought in to replace a Fornals or Benrahma. He's just a rotation option. That's how I look at it. But at the same time, Moyes wanted him in, so clearly he does like him as a player. It'll be interesting to see whether he does drop Fornals at times to bring him in.
Yeah, and to be fair, by the sounds of it, it sounds like United want him back at the end of the season, so he can compete.
Dawson.
So I think that it's a loan with no option to extend. So it'll be interesting.
You're about to see Milner just drop in behind the defence as a small pass from Robbo's played over the top. Other side, this is what I'm banging on about. If that's Thiago, he can do a lot more. 2-footed, bang the shot in. Just have to wait and see. But that is Thiago. 100% is their most dangerous player, more so than Salah, more so than Robbo or Trent, an absolute no-brainer. And you watch, I'm at 14:46, just as I said that, he still tries to test Ogbonna with the run, even though the ball's at halfway.
I mean, like you say, Thiago's just playing freely, and like you say, that's where he's most dangerous, in my opinion, because he's such a good creative presence, such a great passer of the ball. You give him a bit of space, and he's going to do damage, so we can't give him too much of that
and the
free
problem
space.
Is
we are at the moment
because of the Souček box to box role, and he's just drawing a free kick on the edge of the box. I'll be back. I'll just go to the toilet. But interesting.
He's such a dangerous player, Thiago. Watching him in his days at Bayern, he was just absolutely world class, and he's won a free. It's taken a while to settle down.
He's taken one a free kick off of Declan there, and they've tried to take it early. The dirty cheating bastards. If that had happened to Liverpool, Klopp would be screaming.
I think the thing about Thiago is, and a thing that I probably thought for quite a while is...
Go on. Hi. Yes, what on?
Oh, it's all right. No, I think I thought about Thiago was people don't look at him as a defensive midfielder. But if you ever watched him play for Bayern in that pivot role, he's superb. And you see that interception on Declan Rice. That is the type of quality. He's just an all-round really good football player.
Well, the thing is, I think he was afforded to play that holding role at Bayern just because Bayern was such a dominant team, and obviously so many decent players in that team. So he could play in that area and still have that kind of creative license to get forward and do all that sort of thing.
Well, we won a free kick on the counter there. That's good. While we're sorting that out, we're going to get beers in.
I got a free kick on the right from Trent. I guess you've seen that.
Yeah, I'm a bit ahead of you boys at the moment.
Oh, good blocking. This is
I'm
what
trying to keep as quiet as possible.
I hate playing Liverpool because it's just like you see the fact they've got no real forwards in a way. They're just all playing a bit deeper, and a couple of times they've made those runs from deep, and we don't know whether to press up as a team, whether it's to sit as a team. We just get caught. It's not an easy game at all.
Yeah, they're definitely playing sort of tactical chess with us, trying to manipulate our formation as best as they can, because they know how good we've been in the formation that we've got. So I think that 4-3-3 is really going to be a test for us. But defensively we've done okay so far.
Yeah, no, we've looked all right. We've got back in shape quite quickly.
It's quite funny because usually when you watch West Ham let other teams dominate the possession, it doesn't work that badly because we can hit them on the counter. But it seems we're playing long ball here a tiny bit, and that is the problem. We're not really offering much when we do have the ball. So,
go on, Benny. No.
God, Oh, this is really irritating. Milner picking up positions on the left as well.
It's as much as we were sat there like, oh yeah, it's going to be a good game stuff. It's such a slow tempo game. Liverpool just knocking it about. I hope something happens second half to make it a bit more open.
The problem is with Liverpool, like Angus touched on with in terms of hitting the long ball, is because they squeeze teams with that press. And when you get the ball in your own half, you can't really see too many options. So it's like try and play it to Mickey or try and set something. And not. We're working
this
hard.
is actually, yeah. Well, it's interesting that Dennis was saying. Obviously, we hoped for it to open up a bit more, but this is actually a very restrained Liverpool from what we're normally used to in terms of how open they're playing, how creative they are. So I think both teams
Go on, Benny. Oh, that's poor.
are trying to be cautious.
Antonio didn't make the run, but even then he was never getting that. He's quick,
but the thing is, in this game, those are the moments. Do you know what I mean? Like that pass, Antonio making that run on the shoulder.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely set up to counter at the moment. Oh, God, come on, stay on side, Antonio. Go on, boys. We're not being as quick on the counter as we normally are. Can't tell whether that's because we're being slow. Liverpool regroup quickly.
It's probably 6-1, half a dozen the other, mate.
That's it, West Ham. This isn't bad.
They're so good at pressing.
You spoke way too soon. Or did you? Maybe you didn't.
No, it wasn't we were on the ball. It was just in terms of the press, but they beat it.
Yeah, no, it was like we lost it, and then we lost it, then we won it back right away. Oh, did ya? Did ya?
Go on.
Go on.
Oh, that's not really how we need to.
Options, boys, options.
Switch play.
It's the thing, we've got bodies up the field, but we're playing it too deep, and then we're just kicking the ball up and losing possession.
It's definitely looking like a Liverpool team that you have to take risks against, and Corey's spot on with the fact that they like to squeeze teams, they like to push them, and close off the spaces. So that is presumably why the long ball tactic is going on here and is being employed. So Mickey can tap it onto the run of Benrahma mainly, but also Fornells down the left. But the other option is you pass it around quickly and you try and build it up, quickly. But the risk is, that is the risk. That is arguably the way that you have to break this team down without two strikers. But then, if they read the play, they've got the ball and you're a bit done out of position. So,
well, look,
it's one of the two.
Deck's dropping a lot deeper now to try and get on the ball a bit and create something, but...
Cresswell, get there.
I heard Charles shout, "Get there," and then silence. Does that mean we've just conceded?
No, we're still in it.
I think Charles is a little bit ahead of us, isn't he?
These games are such chess matches, aren't they? It's just the way they are. Not as exciting, nearly as much as that Palace game.
So I'm just watching edge of the box. Thiago's being picked up by Bowen, and now is a free man.
Careful, he's going to dive. He's going to dive. Oh, okay. Sorry.
I'm trying to keep my reactions muted for you boys, not to give away anything too much. Come on, boys.
I thought that meant we'd scored.
No.
All we conceded, all that Salah did get a penalty.
Yeah.
I've already gone past.
Salah dived, obviously.
Well, no, it was just the fact I saw someone tracking, closing down Salah from behind. I was like, here we are. He's going to go down. He's going to go down.
I was moaning about the fact that they're just finding a bit too much space in behind Souček and Rice at the moment, and those are the areas that we really need to keep, very well defended. Otherwise, you're going to let people like Salah and Thiago and people like that just find pockets of space, and then they're through.
I finally figured out why against Palace, Cresswell kept playing too narrow as the left back, and that is quite literally because he's trying to employ the same system that we had before Masuaku was out. And I started to see this last 10 minutes the five at the back, but it's Bowen at right wing back and Fornals at left back, so they're being asked a lot to do. And the risk is then that, and we just saw it there, Robbo gets the ball early and Bowen's being asked too much to do to track back. So, that is definitely that system.
Sorry, Anthony, I think it's the angle. Makes me look like I'm a Bond villain.
I think you're just scaring him because he thought we conceded. That's why.
Oh, okay.
You're in the. Oh.
Yeah, that's not good.
Well, no, we didn't concede.
That was a massive chance, boys. Massive chance goes begging.
God.
It was the way to go on, and then there was no
I was actually hoping that was going to happen, to be honest.
We always hope it could happen. He said I heard his dad in the back go, "Oh no."
Oh, honestly, it's gonna be loud. Yeah, no, it was. Yeah,
well,
you brought to get that to it.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
It's not that bad.
No, it's just
not that bad. It's close. It's close.
I just thought that. Oh God. Fornals, it just kind of got behind him a little bit.
Good switch from Dak, and that is that fast build-up. Quick passes. Taking the
I thought Benny was going to hit it, actually, to be honest.
Yes, Craig Dawson beating Divock Origi for pace. You'd love to see it. No, absolutely not.
That's it, West Ham. Look at Sufa.
Go on, Mickey.
Much better.
We're definitely getting into it a bit more.
I thought Benny was going to take that for a minute. I was like, I fancy him.
Antonio, what a terrible pass. You boys are about to see an absolute clanger.
From who?
Mickey.
Antonio. Noble-esque. Actually, no, it's Antonio-esque, probably.
I'll tell you what, Robertson's dug him out there, on the line.
Although Allison was getting up there. It's like he was straight at the keeper.
Angus, have you seen it, mate?
Yeah, it's not great, that's for sure.
Oh, fucking hell.
It's not what you want against Liverpool. Doncaster maybe might get away with it.
Oh, look, Trent. What is Trent doing there?
Have you seen it, Corey?
I'm seeing it now, I think.
Me and Corey are more or less at the same place. I'm at 25, 22.
What are you doing? That's silly, that is.
It's an absolute clanger.
But the only promising thing about that was you see how Trent struggled to deal with that ball, and I just feel like Trent defensively is poor enough to get beat consistently in this game. You see, Creswell beat him on the overlap earlier, so you know.
God bloody hell! Yeah, if Cresswell's beating you on the overlap, you do have to.
It's because his positioning is so bad in terms of he just gets done square on all the time.
Dawson's just made a great block against Shaqiri. Honestly,
it's better from West Ham. It's much braver, I think.
Yeah, we're starting to get in it a bit more, but still a bit vulnerable at the back. These
well done, Dawson. It was a good block.
Yeah, it's good block on it. Yeah,
lovely.
Yeah.
I was going to say, it's very brave touching Salah. I mean, penalty any minute.
His positioning as well was actually incredible. To know where Shaqiri was behind him when he was tracking Mo.
Yeah, he sensed it.
He pushes more centrally.
Brilliant block.
Yeah, to avoid the ball getting out the right-hand side. I thought it was perfect.
Go on, Craig. That's what I want to see.
Don't want to be too negative this early on, but Bowen is looking slightly out of shape and out of position sometimes on the defensive when we're defending.
Such a good block from Craig Dawson, to be honest. I know I'm a bit behind.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, no. Salah's making that run constantly.
They switch. I watched the United-Liverpool game with a couple of mates, as in the league game, and it was so noticeable to see not only Sadio and Mo switching wings from time to time, but then Mo playing as the number 9 and then switching back outside. They were trying to. Luke Shaw was having a phenomenal game, so they kept trying to test him with both Mane and Salah. And it'll be interesting to see whether they try and exploit Cresswell and then Dawson, and because he's been all over the place here. I would like to be playing for Liverpool. Let's put it that way this season, because they don't have much shape necessarily, or consistent shape to the positions that the attacking players are being asked to play. Yeah, so bit of freedom.
Yeah, that's a difficulty, man. I think Fornals has done an okay job in this game defensively as well. It's quite tough.
Well, that's the thing with Fornals, is that even if he doesn't have a great game, he's still going to put the effort in for you and run about.
That's it, West Ham. Come on, press them out.
Mickey. Well done.
Well done. Deal with it. Oh, all right, fair enough. Everyone watching, smash a like. Still 0-0. 28 minutes gone. I know I'm behind, so it's probably 30 now, but nonetheless.
I'm at 28.50.
29.20.
Good Mickey. Winning the throw.
That was such a golden chance now when you look at Fornals' shot. Just like, oh.
I don't think he could have done much more, to be honest.
No, it was a bit behind him, wasn't it? He had to try and dig it out and get power on it.
Yeah, too tight to him. So. The deflection actually probably amplifies the feeling of, we've missed a city, because it does hit the defender and catch Alisson a bit off guard.
Good.
Whereas I think it would have been an easy save.
Yeah, we just didn't quite get a decent strike on it.
Yeah.
As well as obviously all the Liverpool bodies.
Oh no, don't get me wrong. It wasn't Mikel Antonio 2 yards out territory, but it's just because it's the first time we were in front of the goal. I was like, come on.
Yeah. Well, like Anthony says, it's actually probably the best chance any team has had in the game so far. Oh, that's soft ref.
Is that Salah?
Yes, Salah been shot again.
No, it wasn't Salah this time, surprisingly. Don't know who it was, actually. Oh, it actually might have been Salah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was Salah. It's so not a foul. It's so not a foul. It's just not a foul. It's definitely not a penalty, no. I'd be definitely not a foul.
I've just seen it. What a cunt. What a cunt.
Keep it PG.
Come on, Dennis.
What my brother's watching.
What if Kit is watching as well? That's the problem.
You don't isolate the demographics.
Nah.
But yeah, no, it was completely soft. He basically has it's a failed slide tackle, and then Ogbonna easily outmuscles. I think it was Milner.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't watched the replay, but it didn't look great. Unless
I don't think there was anything in it.
Yeah, he's got to be careful though.
If it was Salah, then yeah, it would have been a penalty. But speaking of terrible refereeing, Aston Villa had some absolutely great luck on their side yesterday with some of the decisions.
They did.
But they're almost as bad as Liverpool for claiming everything's against them.
Oh God, honestly, yeah.
Almost.
Villa shouldn't even be in the league.
Yeah.
Just for the fact that goal line technology failed them.
If they don't get that point, Bournemouth stay up.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I thought Bournemouth were going to sue the Premier League for that or something like that.
No, not the Premier League. It's the technology or something.
Oh,
I think it turned out something really shit. Like the referee just didn't switch it on or something.
They didn't switch it on before, yeah. That would suck so much.
No, it was. They didn't switch it on before, I'm pretty sure.
That's so bad.
Yeah, and it was like the first game back in the league. It's like, oh, well.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
We're just talking about Villa. They're terrible. Not terrible. I mean, the thing is, that Southampton goal, by the letter of the law, doesn't count. But how that is offside when his arm is offside?
Well, it's like when you I think remember a while ago, Brighton had a goal disallowed against Liverpool because his fingertips were offside or something like that.
Oh, that's not bad.
Like,
yeah, sorry, I saw Bonner try and ping it from centre
No,
back.
it was
Yeah,
Leeds
it was close,
against. Are you talking about Leeds against Palace with
Paddy
Bamford?
yeah.
Pointing
Yeah,
to-
no. This was last season. This was last season. There was also when Pookie's beard was offside.
I'll tell you what I didn't like. I'll tell you what I didn't. Oh, that's brilliant, Jared Bowen there. Tell you what I didn't like was Aston Villa's media team celebrating it like as if they.
Oh,
Yeah.
did you see the tweet? It was so.
And I'm like, I'm not being funny. Like, I think it's a bit ridiculous because if you took out all those silly lines and all those pixels, yeah, you would say generally that's onside. The thing that didn't get put up as much was Matty Cash's handball, which I felt was more of an obvious handball than
Absolutely.
even the other decisions. So.
Well, they
Stone
changed
cold
the
handball.
rule. It's because it hit his
Corner, lads, we got a corner.
Yeah.
Set piece, lads.
But
Send them in.
But yeah, like Angus, the thing is, there isn't actually clear evidence that it properly came off. Like I can understand if it brushed it, but like if you look at the replay, it's like, how is that not a handball?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but like Angus says, but the problem is, I sat there thinking, how would I change the rule to make it more realistic? And I think the more about it, it's so hard to define. In terms of when saying what was the intention to. So it's like clearly, imagine if it hits off your calf and then you move your arm towards it. Is that therefore not a handball just because it's hit another? There's so many different avenues to it that it's just not worth thinking about. So
the whole idea of intent is impossible to judge because you can't judge someone's intent, which is like, it's just there's so many, but the offside one is what annoys me most because that's so obviously like the fact that your arm can't be used to score a goal, yet it can be used against you to be offside. It's just ridiculous in my opinion.
That's silly. Yeah, 100%.
Anyway, back to the game.
I feel like that was a bit of a wasted corner. Like I could see what the idea was.
Yeah.
Trying to force Liverpool out.
I knew not to get excited by it because Angus and Charles were talking about fucking Southampton Villa, so clearly nothing happened.
Sorry, I forgot you got the front as well.
I wanted to temper your expectations. Sorry.
It's just I watch it rather than looking at the stream. I just hear out for Charles's exciting screams.
I'm trying to be as muted as possible.
Let's be honest. If we concede a score a goal, there'll be no muting of celebrations.
Yeah.
If we score, the muting
Or
might not occur.
your dad in the background or something, which is fine. That's the fun of it.
Simon Johnson giving it large in the background.
But come on, doesn't that sound just warm your heart?
Yeah, exactly.
It actually does.
I'm just like, yes, okay, everything's okay. We've scored.
So when I know we've scored, I celebrate anyway. I don't care.
like the other week when we were at Stockport, because I was the only one that was like on time or something or ahead, it would be like, right, Dennis is just going to do the penalty shootout.
Yeah, we were like, right, you do pens and we'll just listen to it.
And then there was the Fulham game where I was ahead, where it was like, oh, it showed us the worst penalty I've ever seen. It's the worst penalty.
I just literally turned off my stream after that.
I think this might go under the radar because of how much Liverpool have got the ball, but West Ham shape is more than good enough to restrict them just to trying to play the ball over that line. It is a bit frustrating. We're not on the ball that much, but interestingly enough, Thiago's sitting a bit deeper and trying to get the ball in, and they're using Milner's athleticism in behind at times. So they're trying to stretch it, but I think West Ham have done a good job so far.
It's funny going back to the penalties thing. I do the thing where because usually I watch on my laptop, so I literally can't watch the penalties because there's so much, especially with the Villa and the Fulham one, there was so much at stake. So I turn the laptop down and you can see the green of the pitch on the keyboard. And as he's taking it, you turn it down, you know that, because obviously if they score, the camera angle changes to the player celebrating. So that the whole colour of the keyboard changes almost as they zoom in on the Fulham kit or whatever. And if it stays green just a tiny bit longer, you know that the penalty's been saved. And that is the joy of watching.
Got a free kick on the edge of the area, boys. Well, not edge of the area, but just on the left side. No, we did. Ben Rama did some sick
that's how far
skill.
behind I am then.
I've got Bonner's taking a free kick at the minute, so
It's not that free kick.
Benny.
It's tough.
Benny did some Great skill for it.
Just before then, we hit a switch pass for probably the first time in this game, and I think it was Robertson was out like a flash. I'm like, they're so switched on.
Fucking hell, that was beautiful.
When Benny draws the foul, watch Thiago's reaction. It wasn't.
I'm not even sure if he actually.
Thiago is not happy.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if he actually got contact on him, but
did.
still, great skill.
So that
was as bad as the Salah one, if we're being fair.
Oh, we deserve a bit of a luck after the Salah
I love it. Benny doing Thiago. There's vibes, man. Thiago is one about everything there is to
Oh!
Yeah!
No, absolutely not.
Shut up.
Absolutely not.
Even then, I thought for some reason the first thing in my mind, even though I know Dennis is like a minute behind, is shit. We've scored.
I thought we scored from this situation.
I'm about 30 seconds behind, and Corey's about 30 seconds behind me.
I tell you what, though.
38-11.
I tell you what, Craig Dawson was coming onto that like a juggernaut. Honestly, he wanted that in the back of the net.
Phillips.
It was
That's
close.
the thing, they can hit us on the counter so well. Oh, Crest, beautiful.
How old is Nathan Phillips?
Young, 25?
3 or something?
He looks 30.
He looks like, definitely
Like
looks older
30.
than me, that's for sure. Oh, God, I tell you what. If Craigie had got on that would have been...
Craigie was running onto that one.
I took Dawson out of my team because I wanted to put Mickey in. And I thought out of the two of Cresswell or Dawson, I think Cresswell's more likely to get an assist than Dawson is to score. So,
I know a few times Cresswell's been pulled out of position, but generally I think Cresswell's had a really good game here against Salah on that right.
Yeah.
Definite handball.
He's 23, by the way. That's
23, God.
He looks like he could be my granddad.
Oh, lovely. You're all right, steady. He's not that old.
Craig Dawson. Oh, I think it was Dawson and Rice was close to it as well. Dawson might have gotten just ahead of the ball, but oh God, I tell you what.
It's close, mate.
Yeah, I think it might have been Phillips who cleared it.
That's a handball by Milner, surely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is good.
Yeah, definite.
Deal with that, Craig.
You're about to see
Lovely stuff, Craig Dawson.
Antonio do another bit of Antonio magic, yeah.
When you say magic, do you mean...
I mean
as
magic.
No.
As in dark magic?
As in
like,
magic.
As in magic that backfires.
As in you're in on goal and you pass it back to the opposition player.
As in he's got Ron Weasley's backfiring magic wand.
As in disappointing.
As in it's not magic.
Magic, but it's not.
It's magic, but it ain't. Go on, Deckers. Go on.
There is no way Nat Phillips
Go on,
is
Mickey.
23
Go on,
years old.
Mickey.
He looks
Go on.
33.
Oh, it's too many regrouped. Go on, Mickey. Still going. Oh, what was that? We got more Mickey magic. Go on. I'm going to start hiring. Oh, here we go. Come on. Go on, Deckers. Go on. Well, I think
His dad's speaking for us.
Simon spoke for himself, yeah.
It's
Look,
slightly
Charles has
frustrating how
upgraded
good
to
of
the
a-
big boy cans.
Oh, well done, Bowen. Phenomenal, man.
Slightly
I've got-
frustrating
I've got-
how good of a centre back Phillips is.
Got another one waiting in the fridge, Dennis, don't you worry.
Cool,
Oh,
lads.
Deckers. Oh! Oh! I know Fluff's it, but...
Still, we're getting into it.
Oh!
Mickey could have had a touch there. That's the frustrating thing. Could have
I thought he was
chested
gonna-
down and volleyed.
Oh,
I thought he was going to play
Mickey.
truth out there, you know?
Have you seen
Probably
Mickey's magic?
Yeah, it's awful.
Mickey's
Go on.
magic, yeah. Rice has won it in middle, though.
That's it, West Ham. That's what I want to see.
Whip the ball in for fuck's sake.
Not bad.
Again, boys.
Not bad. Oh, unlucky, Mickey. Could have put it back for someone, to be fair, but I can understand why he took
One
it.
thing I will say is that this
Gorgeous.
game is absolutely not for Yarmolenko whatsoever.
No.
on the
You look
wing.
at the work that Bowen's doing off the ball.
Absolutely not.
It's
Yeah, you have Yarmolenko starting right wing, and Robertson just has free reign down the left.
Yeah, it's just
Because he's not catching one of them switch passes, definitely not.
No.
Yarmolenko couldn't catch a switch pass against fucking Stockport.
Yeah, exactly.
I like Yarmolenko. I'll put that on fucking record. I like him, but nah. Nah, not today.
In fairness, when we are getting the ball in their third, we are pushing up as a side. That is good to see, trying to create something. Go on, do with that.
Yeah, we are doing stuff with the ball. We're not just
we're not just sitting behind and letting them have the possession.
But yeah, we just need to be a bit more sort of clinical. I mean, they regroup defensively so quickly, so they hardly give us any time to do anything.
That's the problem. Anything we do in this game, we've just got to act so decisively.
Yeah,
and there's got to be real quality as well.
Yeah, no Mickey magic.
As I said, Phillips is doing well at centre back. He's probably 10 times the centre back that Reece Williams is, and Mickey tried to break through with the ball, about 5 minutes ago and couldn't. So,
it's not a goal, but it was close for Liverpool.
Missed chance for Mikel Antonio. I can see in the
No. Oh, I better not do that, otherwise we'll get pulled up. The stream will get pulled. I better move the camera slightly.
Oh no, it wasn't. It was
Yeah, it was a testy one.
Another ball by Thiago in, yeah. Oh, fucking hell. That was nearly a borderline shithouse tapping. But again, it's Thiago getting the ball in like Angus called it.
Yeah.
Not from the position that Angus called it from, but the end
just
product.
just having that free reign and.
I'll tell you what. That was a good ball.
Rice.
I don't think Fabian. There was enough space at the far post. I think Fabianski would have got that if that was on target.
1 minute added on at half time, till half time, boys. Rice just completely rinsed Rice for having a shot straight at Fabianski.
Rice just completely rinsed Rice.
Sorry
Think about that.
Salah. My bad. I've got things going through my mind.
Give him a break.
A lot of things I want to say. Although Declan Rice is so good that he probably could rinse himself.
Deal with it. Come on, Chris.
It's good from Fornals with the knock on. Unlucky. Very unlucky.
Declan Rice. Yeah, that's fine. I'll have shot from distance.
Very good ball forward by Fornals. Not really sure that was right.
Yeah.
Good.
Actually.
Oh, it's also snowing according to Charles Senior.
Yep, apparently. But it looks like sleet. It might be snow. I don't know. Either way, half time, boys.
It's going to get colder. I'm glad I got my turtleneck on.
Yeah.
I need to buy myself one of them, mate. I'm freezing.
Mate.
Your neck's looking a little bit bare though.
Exposed, yeah. I know it is.
Jurgen Klopp's running inside so we can avoid press scrutiny.
No, he's running to complain to someone.
I'm honestly, Nat Phillips is not younger than me. Like that I refuse to believe that. He looks like 30.
He looks like 30, doesn't he?
I'll tell you
33.
what. Liverpool are still dangerous from deep areas, but I think we couldn't have really played that game any different. Possibly Mikel Antonio's decision making at times might have made a difference, but ultimately, I think we knew in this game we weren't going to have a lot of the ball. We knew we weren't going to have a lot of chances. I actually like the way, encouraged by the way that when we do have possession in their third, we do press as a side. That is important. Yeah. And we are creating those overloads. Again, I think this is just going to be down to one moment in this game from both sides.
Yeah, we generally win games in moments, as I said.
Exactly, yeah.
Dawson's corner Dawson's goal from the corner at Palace. That was the moment we won the game. We don't score there and it's 2-1. Palace attack us more. We win games in moments, even if it's not 1-0. There's still the moment that we've won the game. And before we go on tangents, to say, Anthony, don't worry, we measure our snow in inches as well. You don't need to convert it, mate. And yes, Andy, short corners also make my blood boil, makes my piss boil as well. Especially when you've got such attacking threats such as Soucek and
I did get, to be fair,
don't switch up what works. We should have had the same corner routine as we'd always been doing it.
I did get the idea. It was just that conversion wasn't brilliant.
Back in a second, lads.
I'm going to get a beer in a minute. But overall, lads, I'm feeling quite encouraged. Like, we are doing the job that we need to do. I think defensively we've looked okay, and we know the problems Liverpool caused us, but they've been throwing James Milner making the runs in behind as well to try and draw us out. And we've got back in shape. We've looked okay. We've just got to bide our time here, I think.
That probably what you said, that we've looked okay. I don't think.
No, we've not looked brilliant. We've not been. It's been hard though, hasn't it?
Actually, yeah. I think we've got to give ourselves a bit of credit. I mean, we know how dangerous Liverpool's attack are, and obviously their wing back presence as well. And I think defensively, like you said, Corey, during that half, we've done ourselves well with the defensive shape that we've had. We've had a couple of chances, too clear cut, but we definitely need to be taking those chances because they're going to come few and far between, so we're going to have to take them when they come.
The problem is the thing, though. I'm not necessarily sure that if we back ourselves in the way that I think a large portion of West Ham fans thought that we would before the game, that the chances would come thick and far between. I think the risk is obviously you get hit on the counter by a Liverpool team that are very good on the break. That's the reality of it. But we need to take the risk. I think that we have had 2 clear-cut chances. But they haven't come necessarily from the way that they would usually come from a West Ham side. Obviously we haven't. I don't think that we have backed ourselves fully at times. I thought you saw the Souček bombing forward in the first 20-25 minutes. I think we saw less of it and less of that as the half progressed, because the risk is obviously that you let someone like Thiago free roam and catch us on the counter. But and I don't like the fact that Liverpool have just been so free in their position. Like they could have sat on that ball for 10 minutes without giving away possession. We haven't pressed them. We haven't asked any questions of them when we've been off the ball. So I think that that is the risk that you take, perhaps. And someone just said a point today would be a good point, but I don't think a draw is ever. I'd much rather lose this 3-0 than try and.
I think it's definitely a conscious effort by a conscious tactical decision by Moyes to try and get them on the counter attack. And to be fair, there have been moments where it looks like we can take advantage of that. But as you say, Angus, I mean, what we lack in taking risks, we offer more chances to Liverpool, trying to get up there and do some damage. So yeah, I think I'm actually quite happy with that first half overall. I think we've done all right, and we're still in it.
Yeah. The problem with Liverpool is they're so multifaceted in what they can do. Do you know what I mean? They can press you, create overload. They can sit back, play a ball over the top. I think it's a real problem for Moyes is to decide whether to go out there and press them a bit more aggressively. Angus is right. I don't think we've seen that. But then for me, going to press someone like a Thiago is asking for trouble. So I do get it from Moyes' perspective. I do think this game will open up naturally anyway. I think if Liverpool put a bit more pressure on, push their line up a bit further, West Ham, you look at Mickey Antonio from deep, he did get that chance when he was running in on goal. So possibly we see that again. But I'm taking it for now. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, the way I see it, I mean, in a normal situation, I do tend to agree with Angus that I'd rather give it a go and say that we gave it our best shot. But if we are serious about looking at Europe, I think a point today against the team one place above you, not the worst idea. Obviously, I don't want to sit back because what happens? If we sit back for a goalless draw, we will concede. We do have to give it a go at some point.
A point against Liverpool is not going to count for anything come the end of the season. Absolutely nothing. And the league is so inconsistent that, we might pick up 1 point here, but we'll lose it somewhere else along the track. We need to go for the 3. We need to take the risk. Because 3 points will, it's just something that, in my opinion, with a Liverpool side that aren't the Liverpool side that you usually see, and they've been flustered. They've been flustered last couple of weeks. Obviously had that United defeat midweek, lost to, was it Southampton they lost to?
Yeah, lost to Southampton.
So
I think
Burnley, yeah.
I think the most important part, what Corey touched on in the first half, is that we don't necessarily have to be riskier, but we just have to be quicker in our attacks and more potent and sort of more lethal. Which Liverpool
But that is the problem. That is, that if you do that, that is the risk that you take, because providing that fast build up in the system that we are in means that players have to get out of position. It means that Souček has to bomb on more than he's been doing this last 20 minutes, and that is the risk. The risk is that if you try the fast build up and put more pace into the passes and whatnot, and we work our way up as a team, we get hit on the counter. That's the problem.
Yeah, I mean that's why we need people like Antonio and those attacking front three to really put in the effort when we win back the ball, so that we can get on.
Do you know what, mate? Though I think the problem has been at times as well the fact that Bowen and Fornals are pinned back a little bit by Trent and Robertson, and that concern, and that stopped us getting out with numbers that we would normally do. This is always going to be that type of game where realistically the only players we can commit at times is Ben Rama and Antonio. And that's unless we get in possession quite high up the pitch, which again, there are a lot of risks involved. I just think Moyes has looked at it and said, I'm not gonna risk certain things. If we can take our chances, great. If we can't, I'll take the point. That's what it looks like to me.
I mean, when Souček is implemented like perfectly, he's implemented as like a supplementary attacking player, which means that he's not bobbing forward because he's got to play number 10 or anything. He's there just in case the front four or whatever it is, isn't quite giving us enough attacking options. So, I definitely think there needs to be more effort from those wingers to make sure that we get up the pitch and hopefully we can create something out of that.
It's tough. They're a very good side, Liverpool. That's the problem, isn't it? Like they can hurt you in so many ways. It's like you have to take. Angus is right. You take the risk to get forward, but you lose ground as well. So.
And the other problem is, like I said, as much as we win games in moments, we could lose games in moments. Like that half chance that Origi had. I mean, Liverpool haven't really had many gilt-edged chances. A Salah shot from distance, that's about it. Whereas we've had a couple of neat. I think Ben Rama's shot that was cleared off the line or just in front of the line by Robertson is about as close as we've come to a chance. So it really is level pegging, and they've dominated possession, yes, but we never dominate possession. We've always. Usually when we win games, have less possession and win on the counter. So it's still all to play for. I just want to see us, I'm all for being cautious, but I do want to see us have a go. At the same time, I'd rather not lose a game. So I'm not saying be cautious. I'd just rather not lose.
We are gonna have to take have to take the risk because Liverpool will force us into it. No way Jurgen Klopp's gonna walk away happy with a point. So they're gonna try and push up and dictate, and we're gonna our chances that because we will create more chances in the second half. That is an absolute given. It's either going to come off the back of our own initiative and going, let's go for this. We've got the quality, we've got the momentum. Let's try and get 3 points. Or it'll be Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool going, fuck this. We haven't asked the questions of you. We've dominated the ball, so have a couple more balls over the top. Have the Thiago pushing up as a number 9. Cresswell having to deal with Trent. And Robbo pushing into the box on the other side. That they will ask the questions if we don't. So it'll open up 100%. And absolutely no way this game finishes 0-0. Absolutely no way.
Well, that's a good point. You're right. Jurgen needs the 3 points. Let's be honest. Their current run of form has been appalling other than that Tottenham result. So it will suit us. I do think that will suit us. If they try and press on us and Antonio can break, you would back him to go and beat Phillips and Henderson. Because even when you look at Liverpool's line today, it's been relatively conservative. Thiago's picking it up off them and Wijnaldum's sitting in. They're not really squeezing West Ham too high up the pitch. They are playing balls over the top, but at some point, Klopp is going to have to risk his forwards, get him into the box, try and create overloads and try and create chances, and that will suit us. So it will open up, I imagine. It is a bit of a cagey affair, but I think we always knew it was always going to be, particularly with this first half.
Yeah, I'll be back in a minute, boys.
All right, see you later, mate. Right, we're nearly back on. Come on, you want.
Andy said, would you take a point now? Keep the unbeaten run going. But I don't think the obsession with the run, I think there's no reason to be obsessed over an unbeaten run. Because if the confidence doesn't get jaded, if you don't lose 4-0, let's put it this way, if you don't lose 3-0, 4-0 and get absolutely dominated in the game, the confidence won't go just because you lose one game, particularly against Liverpool. The run doesn't actually count for much, I don't think. It's not
Yeah,
like, you know...
I agree. We've got to stop being a bit precious about this unbeaten run, because you look at the fixtures we've got coming up. We've got Liverpool, Villa, and we've got Spurs and Man City in the future. With realistically Fulham and Sheffield United as the games we should get the 3 points from. So I'm not too bothered. I want to see good performances. I do think we can get a result against Liverpool. I definitely think we can compete with Aston Villa as well. So even if we don't get something today or they nick a win, it's not a big problem. But I guess your argument is I'd rather see us go for it than just sort of sit there and we miss out on 3 points that we go, oh, we could have really taken the Liverpool side.
Because it's not like if we go for it, we're going to scam a goal, I don't think. I genuinely do think if we back ourselves, Mickey can ask the right questions. I mean, I didn't touch on it late on 45th minute. Souček was on the left-hand side. And Mickey was in the box by himself, and Reece Williams and Henderson had tried to play him offside. But the reality was Souček was actually ahead of Antonio. So the ball could have been played into the box. Obviously, it was Souček, so there was no way because he's one-footed and he just wasn't getting the ball in. But you do see from time to time there are those lapses in... they are good centre-backs. Henderson is a good player at centre-back. The questions aren't necessarily asked of him individually as much they would be a Reece Williams. But as a partnership, that is where, there's a whole different question. How well can those two communicate, keep the line, and that is where I think we can get them.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's also an argument as well, like we saw just for a brief period in that first half, Trent getting done on the overlap. Individually, sometimes these players can also get done. But I think the way that Liverpool have done that, and listen, their midfield, I know they've added Thiago, was never technically the best midfield, but it was just an incredibly good, well-run engine that, protected them and allowed them to press. So there's no reason why West Ham can't get a result out of this game. I would like to see us take advantage of the set pieces a little bit more, to be honest.
And Andy's, very quickly, I've just seen Andy's hit the nail on the head there. I think what you could see, and I haven't seen enough of Milner to know whether he can play 90 minutes, but the change, if they want to go for it, which they will be Milner off, Firmino on, Firmino on the 10, and again, pulling players out and getting an Origi so that is...
Well, then the problem you've got is, we saw I think it was for the first 30 minutes, Thiago playing in a more advanced role. But if Thiago goes to a little bit of a deeper role, he can hit the balls over the top, and Firmino's willing to play in that set. And then all of a sudden he's asking questions, which I do think that's why
our line is higher with Firmino. Our line will be higher with Firmino because again he'll be looking to receive the ball, not over the top. He'll look to push the ball player. And that's that's when... That's
always been the problem with Firmino, because Klopp allows him to just wander wherever he wants to be and come as deep as he likes. And all of a sudden we could switch off, look to press, and then he'll collect the ball and they just push up as a side. It's so technical what Liverpool do. So listen, by any stretch of imagination, it's not easy to get a result against them. Not one bit. Unless you sit behind the ball for 90 minutes like West Brom and a couple of other teams have done.
Yeah.
And it has worked to a degree, so I don't know.
But look how they're going now, It doesn't help. Okay.
No.
It didn't even help them, and they're in a relegation battle.
Yeah, no. Some interesting results on it today. Oh,
yeah.
Next Saturday, 5 o'clock, Fulham versus West Ham. Be here. Much easier game than this one, for sure. But
hopefully.
Well, I literally just thought that. I was like,
with the way this league's going.
Yeah. Scott Parker's playing some good stuff. I actually thought he was going to
he is.
Today, so he come back into the game. Ball from Harrison Reed was unreal.
Can we just, there's some comments earlier from Anthony, our American friend, who was saying about he became a West Ham fan because he bought a Paille jersey and he left a month later. I mean, that is as much as bad ways of becoming West Ham fans is. That's pretty brilliant. That's a pretty great story,
Yeah. I've seen that comment as well, but I think what Proud Algerian says actually there is true, and I think I can't remember who touched on it. It could have been Angus actually. The fact that we did show Liverpool a lot of respect, quite rightly so. But again, I guess
the other position. It's a shame Angus has just gone because I was going to say actually I would say names just escaped me. Oxlade-Chamberlain coming.
Yeah, that would be a problem.
And Oxlade-Chamberlain always has a fucking good game against us, doesn't he?
Well, he's more of an engine, isn't he? In there, he's going to progress. Yeah. He's got good ability.
The problem is that I don't really see anything on our bench improving us. I see Lanzini but they've got strengths. Strengths and merits. Don't get me wrong, But Lanzini is no better than Benrahma or Fornells. Yarmolenko for Bowen would be a terrible substitution, and Yarmolenko for Antonio would kill any press. So,
yeah, I think this
DJ don't stop. You play all three, and I don't care. All three in a midfield three.
Who would you play as defensive midfield in that then? Scott Parker or Rice? That's a tough one.
Parker, because Rice with his legs bombing forward. He's got legs.
Parker could get in beyond the man, you know. He had a bit of energy about him, to be fair. We'll discuss it on Bill's channel.
Yeah, I was about to say, where's this still gone to?
The comments have descended to a conversation about Watford's promotion hopes. Leslie, fuck off. Start your own channel.
Yeah, go on, Leslie.
Go on that Watford channel that you watch that no one cares about. Go on there.
If we start,
okay, they were nearly in there. Trent
I've
nearly
just
got
come
in
back
from behind.
to Trent through on goal.
Yeah.
I'd
say through on goal. Through on goal is a bit of he weren't through on goal. He never had the ball under control, and he was offside.
Very close.
His arm was offside anyway. He was more offside than Danny Ings was.
Yeah.
Which means he was onside.
But it does show you how much Creswell got pulled in there to try and win the ball, and Fornells just didn't see that run.
I've got all the Sky adverts stuck in my head.
He's got his arm out like that, so I don't know what he's worried about because he's going to be offside anyway.
If Ings was offside last night, that's definitely offside.
It's free kick to Liverpool.
Yellow.
The yellow card for Rice for that.
What's he done?
Conspiracy.
Oh, Ben
Massive.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, he takes him out. I didn't think it was a yellow, but
I love the fact that your dad says he takes him out. And you go, yeah, he does take you out. Simon is talking for Charlie.
I'm having multiple conversations at the same time.
Fuck off! Is that a yellow?
No,
it's not a yellow. It's not a yellow.
I think it is. It's his following leg, and the ball is so blatantly. I mean, it's off the screen by the time the second leg comes through. So,
nah, that's a all right. Calm down challenge. That's not.
Ref, that's a definite foul.
That is I haven't given away a yellow card in that first half. So here you go.
Yeah, I mean, there's
it is a bit of a 50-50.
I can see why. I'll be honest. I can see why.
If I was reffing and I'm not being biased, I'd say, right, one more, and you go into the book. You need to calm down. That is like the final warning challenge.
I'll tell you what. That's a massive plus, though. Hendo trying to get in with the ball and press us. That's exactly what we want. If Rice wins that, we're on that counter straight away. I can see why it's a yellow card, by the way. It probably looks a bit cynical, but
Anthony, always a bell.
Go on. Antonio is just not making any decisions today. He's just gotten away with a two-check cross.
Liverpool using
Liverpool on the counter. Yeah. Cresswell with an amazing block.
Hero.
But hold on. It's a yellow for Souček. Cresswell's just made an unreal block though on Salah. Does he make contact with him? He goes in, given, but does he make contact with him?
Sometimes they don't.
It looks like a dive. Yeah, it looks like a massive dive, but I can see why.
Yeah, it was.
I can see why, but it looked like a dive.
Dennis, turn it off now. Turn it off.
Dennis is going to uproar.
I'm scared for the next 20 seconds.
It did actually look like a massive dive, to be honest. The way
it was.
God,
massive.
Liverpool are definitely pressing us here.
With it?
Oh, fucking hell!
Oh, God. Unreal.
Did you just say Origi scored?
No, really hit the side netting though.
Oh.
I've just seen Creswell's tackle so far behind, but it was class.
It's a great block, wasn't it?
It is a brilliant block, yeah.
Against Salah.
Yeah, Akram, spot on. He shouldn't have.
Yeah, that was a bit stupid of him.
Because we were on Bowen was free on the right hand side, and that's the thing that Moyes. That's why. I have a sense that's why.
Referee. How is that not a foul? You'll call bloody Souček for having someone dive, but then Antonio gets taken out and there's no free kick.
God, they're really starting to put us under some.
Yeah,
God's
definitely.
sake, they really are.
I don't know how the hell our two holding midfielders got booked within 4 minutes of the second half resuming. That
is a definite free kick on Antonio. Phillips and Antonio go up for the ball, but it's a definite free kick by Antonio. Moss just doesn't give a free kick.
Oh, fucking hell.
He's useless. Guarantee you they're getting a penalty because of
They better not, mate.
soft penalty.
That will do my nutting if that happens.
Guarantee they're getting some soft position given away.
Looked like
It's
Mickey had
definitely
the high
a-
elbow.
Oh, that was a bit nasty, wasn't it?
Definitely a foul on Antonio. Phillips comes running in, charging in, and takes him out.
Anthony, Issa Diaz going to come in at striker, lads. We never see that, to be honest.
Go on, Antonio. Go on, son. God, bloody
It's a
Alisson.
goal, for fuck's sake.
I said go on, son, sorry. Alisson is basically playing as a fifth centre-back. As a third centre-back, sorry.
See, but this is the thing. Straight away, like, they've been through... Oh, Alisson. Shit. Gadrian in place.
That is a sweeper keeper.
Yeah. I'd love to see Adrian
Very
again.
well done. That was very, very, very well done. In saying that, he didn't have an option. But yeah, Liverpool are going to start to ask these questions, especially with our two holding midfielders booked now. So we're going to be a bit scared, I think, to go in for challenges and whatnot. And that's the thing, we haven't offered anything. I think we've been really poor attacking wise. I haven't picked the right options. And when you don't have that much of the ball, you just have to be so clinical, and we haven't been. So, yeah.
Yeah, especially with Alisson rushing out, that counter-attack's
Yeah,
going to be even harder to pull
I'll
off.
tell you what, I thought Antonio was going to latch onto that, and he's come out so quick. Not even a chance.
Yeah. Alisson needs to get up for the corner. Dawson needs to send Che Adams' head into Alisson's head. And
Who's going to be Dawson's next victim today?
yeah.
Salah. My money's on Salah.
As long as it's not near the penalty area, I think we'll be all right.
It might be worth it just to see.
I don't care at this point.
Spectacular Dawson.
Just take him out.
I've just seen who else they've got on the bench. Oxlade-Chamberlain's one, but I think he's one that if they go 1-0 up,
Switch it.
he'll
Just
be
switch the
perfect
ball. Take
Yeah,
it too
I mean,
long.
if it goes-
he thrives in the space, and obviously
If it goes if it stays 0-0, and Firmino's got to come on at some point.
I think Firmino will come on 100%. If it's 0-0 with 20 minutes to go, we'll see him.
Yeah.
I think Shaqiri's picking up. Liverpool are trying to play through the lines a little bit in the second half. You can see like someone like Shaqiri dropping into pocket, so trying to force the issue a bit more. Just on that fault, I know I'm behind, but I saw Bowen get the ball on the right hand side, and he just took a couple of touches, switched the ball. We need to just be quick with this, and we're just going to go.
They just regroup way too quickly. So by the time we get the ball to the other side of the pitch, it's already set
they
up.
know they play a high line. They know they have to get back in that shape quick.
Salah had a semi-okay attempt at goal with a header, but pretty soft and easy for Fabianski.
Lanzini for Benrahma would be for me, Anthony, I think.
So you said Salah had a
Especially-
semi. Did he see a discount on diving equipment or something?
Yeah, I don't know. He's not up to his usual
going back
tricks
to
at the moment.
Lanzini isn't necessarily a better option, like for like, but when you have been watching the game for 55 minutes from the
Is that Jones? Curtis
he'll
Jones
be
about to come on for Liverpool.
They're gonna press
Nathan
it
Jones. Nathan Jones?
No, it's Curtis.
Curtis Jones. Curtis
So
Jones.
Nathan Jones.
That was-
Nathan Jones. Yeah, no, it's not Nathan.
That was on my old man. I don't get the blame for that. That's definitely.
I've never heard of Nathan Jones in my life. To be honest.
Yeah, I was about to say Nathan Jones.
I think played for Shrewsbury for a bit. Also an Australian.
Yeah, I don't think it's that bad.
Australian professional wrestler turned actor. He was in the remake of Mad Max.
Oh, Cresswell, great pass.
Oh, Dawson, great tackle. Dawson is just absolutely sensational. Go on, boys. Go on. Go, Bo. Go on, son. Oh, quicker. No. Go on. Antonio, still got it. Oh!
Fuck's sake, Charles! You're supposed to celebrate.
Oh,
I was actually getting excited. I was like,
all came from a Craig Dawson crunching tackle as well. But yeah, that was best chance of the game.
Oh,
Bowen gets out wide. He runs. Bowen has a terrible pass into the centre, but Liverpool can't clear it. Antonio controls it. He just puts it wide.
Sorry, that was a horrific pass from Declan Rice.
Oh.
I thought it was Cresswell. That's the thing. You have to get them on target as much as it, and it is very good play. It's beautiful play. And
What a tackle from Dawson!
What a tackle! Go on, son.
Good pass as well for Dawson.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Here's the missed chance.
I love that Corey's had all the excitement sapped out of him. Just here we are. Here's a missed chance. Cheers, Charles.
Look at that.
It's like
Dawson.
the game all over again.
I'm looking at the fucking replays and it's worse every time I see it. I know
You
when
can
you play football.
you can see the shadow of the ball go across the post. But that's the thing. As much as it's good play, you have to get on target because we're not getting many chances. But interesting to note that the whole of the first half we worked it down the left hand side, and Soufal and Bowen didn't really offer anything on the right.
Luigi's limping now as well.
First time we've asked the question on the right hand side, really, and we nearly got the goal.
We need to
Luigi's limping. That means probably
Curtis Jones has just come in and
replace Milner.
Goal 1-0.
What?
1-0 Salah.
Oh fucking hell! Really? Well, at least
Curtis Jones. Literally, as soon as Curtis Jones came on, it gave him another attacking option, and we just couldn't deal with it.
Good goal.
It's a well-taken goal, but I could have predicted that. As soon as Curtis Jones was in position, I was like, that's going in.
Let's have a look. That's really disappointing.
It's just we don't know how to defend when an extra attacking body comes on. Salah just gets the ball, pokes it into the top corner.
Here we go.
I prefer not to speak.
You can't allow Salah to cut in either. Like that.
Let him come on his left foot and all. It's a good finish, but it's just so.
It is a very good finish.
Yeah.
That is really annoying. You're right, Charles. He broke in midfield, Curtis Jones, and then we were just out of position, and then it was just a case of if Salah could beat Cresswell.
Yeah, exactly.
And Cresswell's had a good game, to be fair to him as well. It's.
Yeah, he has, but like you say, Corey, as soon as Salah gets on his left, it's game over.
Salah's finishing is different class at times.
Mm.
Shame he's such a diving shit.
Well, it's worse because it's actually a legitimate goal as well, mate.
Yeah, exactly. We don't have anything to complain about.
Equally, you should have a lifetime ban for diving. So.
Well.
He's not. Comparing to Grealish, actually not as bad as Jack Grealish.
No.
But it's more the consistency for me, the fact that he's done it for year on year. But anyway, besides the point, he's only had 2 dives today, which is pretty good by his standards. He's only got 2.
Oh, God. Here we go. Come on, West Ham.
Come on, Bowen. Get rid. Bowen's not looking great today so far.
Put Mickey wide right and put Mippo up front. That's what I'd do.
Be an interesting thing to try out, but knowing Moyes, it will.
What other option do we have to take off Bowen? You bring on Yarmolenko.
We have the electric Yarmolenko.
Or you bring on Lanzini and play 3 left-sided attacking mids.
The most frustrating thing is we concede and then, for 2 minutes we look the best that we've looked all game. That is the frustrating thing. That's why we had to go for it. Because I genuinely think we deserve to concede. I mean, we haven't asked any questions about a subpar Liverpool team.
Well, we asked a very big question just before the goal, which we should have. Yeah. We probably should have taken.
But we didn't ask anything of Alisson, so... Yeah.
That's just down to wasteful finishing, and Antonio hasn't been on good form today, unfortunately. We've got to do better. But yeah, defensively, it wasn't even like necessarily terrible defending. It was just the fact that as soon as Curtis came on, it was an extra body to deal with, and we didn't know how to deal with it. And then it was just simple as Salah sticking it in the corner. But as you say, Angus, obviously now we're down, we actually do have to go for it, and we do have to risk it because that's way offside.
And it gives Liverpool, now they can play to their strengths. They've got ops that they can put on for space to grab the second, and that's the frustrating thing because. Yeah, I don't think at the 60th minute mark we don't deserve to get anything from this game at the moment.
Dennis, your dreams are coming true. Yarmolenko's coming on.
You're joking.
He is.
Who's he going to? Do you reckon he'll come off like a Benrahma or something? It can't come off.
Bowen.
And then Liverpool is going to absolutely destroy us down that side.
I just wish I could have stayed in the moment just before kickoff where we were high flying.
Right, yeah.
Life was good.
Yeah,
just stayed it for another couple of seconds.
I'll tell you what, Henderson did well there, but I know I'm behind, but to get back against Bowen.
Bowen's just not been decisive
Out
enough.
of curiosity, I assume it's X that controls the West Ham Way Twitter account.
I don't actually think so, mate.
I think there's a couple of admins.
I don't think it's him or Dave. It's someone else, as far as I'm aware.
The tweet is Cresswell absolute clown. Like, come on.
No, I think that's unfair.
Yeah, I think that is unfair. I mean, 4-0's coming off. Yarmolenko on.
The 4-0's that's strange.
No, it's not. It's the Bowen was never coming off.
Unless he's switching Bowen left, or he's playing Yarm in the middle, putting Benrahma left.
I can get it if he goes Bowen left, possibly, just to exploit their right side a little bit more.
Equally, I'd rather Yarmolenko be in the middle than out wide.
The problem is you lose the work rate, didn't you, of Bowen?
Yes, I'd rather Benrahma go left and have Yarma in the middle.
Well, last time I spoke shit about him, he got an assist for us, so hopefully he can do it again.
Oh, come on, that's poor. Curtis Jones is causing us some absolute problems from midfield.
I mean, we've done this in the past. You bring another attacking body on, especially from these big six teams. Bring another attacking body on, and you're going to cause us problems.
Well, I think it's also the type of they took Milner off, and Jones is obviously the man to get him beyond and actually have a bit more.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know whether you saw it, but Klopp just before was like having a word with Milner, probably describing why he made that decision, and then 30 seconds later, Jones scores and they're celebrating together. So, it is like you say, it is well crafted from Klopp, but also very predictable from what we've done in the past.
But it is also that type of game, isn't it?
Oh, Souček had a chance, but he's been called for a high foot.
Let's have a look what's going on here. I think Benny's gone to the left, possibly. I'll have to wait and see.
Souček's just booted Henderson's head clean off his shoulders.
Jordan Henderson. Oh my
Absolutely
God.
booted his head in. John Watts will probably give him a red card. Fair dues to Henderson, though, he's up.
What's happened? Souček's just booted him.
In fairness, he has fucking balls. So if he gets a second yellow for this,
he's on a yellow.
He's on a yellow.
He hasn't been penalised. Don't worry. I was
going to say Jurgen Klopp can never ever fucking complain about a ref ever again. Fucking cunt.
Oh yeah, no, that'd be way too harsh, wouldn't it? Let's be honest.
Imagine if that was a second yellow, that would be terrible.
I love the way Souček just pats him after trying to knock him.
It's great. He's like, whatever.
Of course, mate.
Like,
you know what it is.
Have some potato salad, you'll feel better.
Nah, not a yellow for me. Yeah, look, DJ had every right to go for it, yeah. I think his eyes were on the ball. I trust Souček's not a dirty player, is he? Let's be honest.
But let's just say Souček gets an equaliser for us and just Klopp, he should have been sent off,
Yeah, exactly.
I was about to say, if West Ham did get a goal at some point, then I can imagine that he would
should have been 10 men.
It should have been 10 men, and the wind was very breezy, I go in my Audi to Aldi now. I'll stop.
It's
This is
weird
the
because
problem, though. Well, this is the problem. I mean, it's not at that stage. It's not at the stage where we've even asked enough. We haven't asked any questions of Alisson. Like, Klopp's got absolutely nothing to complain about, as there is. So we can bang on about him being a complainer and Salah a diver. The fact is, we've let them score one class goal, and we haven't asked enough questions for Klopp to be complaining about anything.
Yeah. He will find something to complain about.
No, he won't. He won't. If we keep playing the way we play, he's gonna walk away and think, "Boy, that was a good 3 points."
You know, I don't want to be too. I don't actually want to be too harsh on West Ham. This has definitely not been our best game. We've definitely not been our best. But like, you always have that feeling when you play a team like Liverpool that they're going to have just enough quality to see out the game. And by the looks of it, this is going to be one of those games where they've just got enough quality. Right, ball's come in from corner. Ooh, that's corner. That's corner. How is that not a corner? Look at this. How's this not a corner?
Go on, in the box.
Oh, okay, maybe. Okay, maybe it wasn't a corner. Maybe not. Well done, John Moss. Always have faith in you.
Ball better.
To be fair, it looked a corner from the.
Yeah, it did look like one, didn't it?
First
Go on, go on. Oh, Robertson nearly puts it in the own back of his net.
From the second one, for me, it looked like a corner, but so I don't know what.
We do have a corner now. Robertson with a very uneasy clearance there. Nearly puts it top corner. Blimey. Come on. Bowen with the corner. No, not good enough.
Oh.
I was going to say, you better start celebrating, Charles, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, it's 4 on 4 now. Salah, 2-0. Well, what a goal. 2-0, what a goal. It's actually it's an unreal counter-attack. It's an unreal counter-attack. Unreal. Really good counter-attack. That's the best counter-attacking goal you're going to see in a while.
Right, let's have a look. Goodness sake.
That is sensational. And the finish from Salah as well.
Just see Gary Neville going, it's absolutely an amazing goal.
Yeah, he's definitely, I think he said that. We just, oh my God, it's 4 on, it's like...
It is, but equally, the man should have a lifetime ban for diving.
Dennis, shut the fuck up, please. Oh my God.
Yeah, Salah shouldn't have been playing in the first place.
Or just by the fact he's too dangerous a player.
Corey, have you seen it?
That is a different class, mate. Unfortunately, look, I don't want to be... it would have been hard pressed to defend that. Let's be honest, the touch is different gear and the finish is probably even better.
It's a ridiculous goal.
I don't really know. We went for it. We pressed them a bit. We tried to create chances, and obviously they do have that outlet. And it is an unbelievable counter-attack. And I can't...
It's 2 unbelievable balls. You know, you're not going to have the players back from a corner like that in order to counter that, so you can't really complain.
I mean, look at the ball from
fantastic. It's a fantastic finish. He shows Fabianski the wrong way.
I mean, what I was going to say just before it happened, was just how quick Salah is getting up that field. And he was sprinting like mad. He's ridiculously fast. So to have only Soufal up there, I know obviously you've got to have the big boys in the box for the corner, but Soufal was pretty much guarding the defence by himself. And as soon as they counted, you know that's going to the back of the net.
I think the thing is, it just showcases how many chances Liverpool can win games in terms of they can break you down, they can get to the right. Anthony says, I don't know if Soufal had closed out the second ball. I just think it's too harsh, mate. It's they've literally taken 3 touches to score the goal from their own penalty area. So, I mean, how you get back in position to defend that, I'm not sure.
Yeah, you can't discredit the goal. It's an unbelievable goal.
Yeah.
It really is.
Brilliant goal, yeah. It was a good goal. But just in the nature of the goals, he's got one, he's picked it up on the left, and then he's also run from deep as well, and he's also scored one. So, I mean, they've just got quality, and that's unfortunately what they're going to do.
Yeah, I mean, I think the trouble is, like I said at the start of the game, like just because it's a weaker Liverpool that's missing players doesn't mean that it's a weak side at all. They've really turned up today.
God, it's such a good finish. I actually hate to say it. It just is.
Look,
That's why
he's the captain on the fantasy team, so you know.
The thing is that I don't even know. You know what I mean, this game's dead, so I'm a bit like, oh.
I know you feel a bit deflated now.
Yeah, I am a bit. I am. Yeah, yeah. And he says it's a good goal, just irritating. Yeah, I agree, mate. But I think we had to go for it at some stage. We went for it, got a set piece, and we just got caught. It just does happen. How did Shaqiri move that fast with his little toddler legs?
Honestly, see him next
Oh
door.
yeah, Andy, let's not height shame people. Okay?
Yeah, come on, Andy.
He did look like Klopp's son when he came off, though.
I didn't know this was a dating website, Andy. What was I going to say? What is so frustrating for me is the fact, again, with the squad depth, we don't really have any players to come on and offensively change what we already have. We're already, in my opinion, playing at our attacking maximum when it comes to players on the pitch. Yeah. Or we were, at least with 4-0s, in that there isn't an ace in the hold that can potentially change things for us, which is, again, comes down to problems much that will take years to solve, you know?
Sure, a change would have changed
more than anything that can change in the next couple of days, you know?
I think, unfortunately, Dennis, we were always going to be restricted to this type of attack, like literally just sitting behind the ball and trying to get something and being quick. I just can't see how we would have. But I know what you mean. Going forward,
there's no option for a plan B, really. I mean, if we had Masuaku available, we could have potentially switched to 5 at the back and tried to get them that way, or something. At least something different.
I would actually say that I think a wing-back system would have been better for today. But again, I'm just splitting hairs, to be honest, mate.
Yeah. Just watching the highlight of the goal again. Alexander-Arnold out wide, Shaqiri sprinting onto it, and Salah's just positions himself so nicely. Yeah, I mean, Soufal is deep, but also that is so, you can't stop a goal of that quality.
And it plays into what I always say, and so I get a lot of stick for from mates. I just think Salah is Shaqiri, and why is it Salah?
That's a good ball,
Shaqiri is wasted being a backup at Liverpool. He should definitely be playing for someone else, playing week in, week out, because he's bloody quality.
Yeah,
it's a bit difficult when the guy in front of you is Mane. Do you know what I mean?
I know. And it's nothing against. It's on him. He doesn't deserve to be ahead of the other team because Liverpool's front three have been mental for so many years, and he's not the weak link. You could be argued. Out of the three, less anyway. Blah blah. Rather than talking about Liverpool, the point is that Shaqiri should be playing elsewhere. I think he's wasting his talent.
On a note, just looking forward to this Villa game. If we can try and let me finish. Do you think Moyes will start to look at this Villa game because it's so close on Tuesday and possibly rest players, or do you think?
No, got to go for it. Got to go for it. I mean, we're not, Villa aren't far behind us at all. No, definitely, it's worth a question. But I mean,
I'd take Mickey off right fucking now, bring Liverpool on, give him 15 minutes of fucking football, and rest Mickey for Villa because the likelihood of us getting something out of this now minimal. As much as I want to go for it.
Brilliant.
I don't want Mickey to pull up with an injury.
Yeah, there's no point going for this game anymore.
Goal against Liverpool,
There's no point going for this game anymore. We've got to look to Villa, like you say, Corey, and go for it against Villa because Villa have obviously had some good results, but there's a lot of vulnerability there. And if we have a good attacking game like we did against Palace or someone like that, then we can absolutely take 3 points off of them. But we definitely have to look at taking someone like, as Dennis rightly says, looking at taking someone like Antonio off, who we know gets injured all the time, and just rotate a little bit.
It's such an odd game because I just feel like you're already talking about the next game. Yeah, I am actually, because you know what? It's over. If something happens. Oh, God. Just like, the problem is when you go 2-0 behind against a side like this that control games, and they don't need to press and they can just sit there, it's really problematic. But in a way, I don't feel like we've necessarily played awful either. It's just maybe it's good to goals. Yeah, maybe, mate. I wish I had your optimism.
We need a Lion on. Antonio's down now. I'm not sure if he's injured, but he's down.
I mean, we could. Do you know what? We could get a goal from set piece maybe, and then it changes the momentum. But open play. Liverpool are absolutely controlling this at the minute.
How that isn't a foul.
I think it's all right. Yeah, it did look like a foul, didn't it? But
Well, I haven't seen the replay, so I can't talk. But it looked.
no, I've seen the second replay. It does look like a foul, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess the referee hasn't seen it properly enough. Oh, God. This is, you know what, though? This is the West Ham we love. West Ham, they get our expectations up to the highest point possible and then completely obliterate all hopes and dreams. That's what we love to see.
That is the West Ham way,
Andy's
mate.
spot on. I'd get Rice.
This is the West Ham way. This is the West Ham way.
They've both nearly been sent off.
Hello to the Philippines. Thanks for watching us at 2 a.m.
Indeed.
Late night watcher, such as Angus. Late night viewer.
2 years.
Got a bit of company, Angus.
I do. It's
On the
nice.
coffee.
It's nice. Yeah.
It is an interesting point, Charles, you make about getting our hopes up and stuff. I think we have to be realistic to a degree. We did play West Brom, Burnley and Palace. It was always inevitably going to be a challenge. And we're quite right to feel confident coming into the game. But I think Liverpool are showing their class, unfortunately.
Yeah, and
So,
by no means. I mean, I don't want to go too easy on us. I don't think we played great. I don't think we played that well. But
No,
you know,
We've
there's-
certainly played worse. We've certainly
we've
played
certainly
worse
played
this
worse.
season.
Definitely.
I'd say,
But,
I would even argue. Although it's a result, I think we played better today than we did against Fulham at home. Just gonna put that one out there. I think Fulham at home we rode our luck a lot.
I mean,
that
you can-
day.
You can definitely name a few performances that this has been better than this year. I mean, Newcastle, top of my head.
I'd even say we probably played better today than we did against Sheffield United away. I mean, we were quite wasteful and got caught on the counter quite early on that game, if you remember. It's not been a bad performance. It's just nothing right for us. We've been caught out by 2 moments of magic.
Yeah, I mean, that second goal, just unreal. We got an injury to Divock Origi and a pause in play. But yeah, I mean, there's since that Antonio chance, there really hasn't been a clear-cut chance for us. That was definitely our best chance of the game.
Yeah, but equally as much as I think I half said it at the time, but got cut off because other excitement was happening. But in the heat of the moment of a game, mistakes like that just happen. It's now happened a couple of games in a row with Mickey, and again, but the way laws and averages go.
Boys, I'm just gonna.
He'll have a fucking stormer against Villa now, won't he? You know.
I just want to say to you that we're definitely going for it now because Antonio's coming off and we're bringing on Noble.
Oh my god!
Right. At least Manu. Like, so I mean,
Mickey is getting a risk. And just fucking bring Mipu on. Fucking play the
Personally, I'm very excited to see Mark Noble up top.
He'll be so up for it. 12 minutes against fucking Liverpool.
Ryan Fredericks is also coming on.
That's great. So that's our subs done.
I think he's coming on for.
To be honest,
Bowen, I think.
I know to say the least, they're not the most inspiring substitutes, but I suppose we were resting players ahead of Tuesday. That's the way.
Yeah, at least
it
Mickey's
is
getting Mipo one. It'd be so up.
I know what you mean, mate. You just throw
It'd
Mipo
be
on.
fucking buzzing for it, and it will at least put some effort in, Not that Noble won't, but it's like he's a fucking defensive midfielder, effectively.
Yarmolenko's gone up top.
He's a number 10, mate. Put some respect on Noble's name.
I just want him to fucking grow his hair, bleach it, change his name to Mustavoy and become a left winger at 34, just like Mustavoy did.
We're bringing on Mark Noble. And Liverpool bringing on Oxlade-Chamberlain.
Fredericks is going right wing. We're getting Angus' dream here.
Can I just say something? Angus called this Fredericks right wing situation for a long time ago, and he's got it spot on.
It's game on. 11 minutes to go. It's game on now.
Here's
Fredericks
the
on the wing.
Oxlade-Chamberlain while they're ahead thing, so Ox will score. Don't worry.
God, that is some proper Moyes magic.
Oh god.
I'll tell you what, though, I'd rather have Fredericks on the right than Yama if we were ever going to defend.
Yeah. It's not saying that the defensive work rate. I'd much rather Fredericks than Yama.
Oh, hello.
I'm not even winding anyone up when I say that.
We've got the ball back, and Mark Noble's gone backwards. So yeah, Yarmo's up top. I think Souček might be playing number 10, and then Rice and Noble in the midfield. God, if only DJ, if only. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get Tottenham-esque magic tonight.
I didn't see Kevin Nolan with his little flip chart showing
that's how you know.
piece, so.
I mean, to be honest, DJ, we're not even getting in the final third to get a set piece. So I mean, it's not.
Go on, Benny. Go on, son. Well done. We just lacked a bit of. You know what? I mean, I don't know who said it in the first half, or just before the second half, but we haven't backed ourselves today. We haven't looked confident. I think that's probably been the biggest kind of aspect of our performance that's let us down. We have looked timid, and obviously Liverpool are a big opponent, but with the form that we've had, you've got to at least have a bit more faith in yourselves to just do what we've been doing so well at recently. Rice is good at driving forward. He should go on more driving runs. Benrahma's good at taking on people. He should take in on more people. So, it's just frustrating. But, like I said, not the worst performance ever, but just disappointing.
Check the comment, mate.
Yeah, we'll do, Anthony. I'll let you know.
No, I agree, man. I agree. Look, I don't think we played horrifically. I think we could have taken possibly more chances when it was 0-0. I actually think probably the decision to... I know bring on Yarmo wasn't the greatest, most inspiring sub, but to put Benny on the left, I think there was genuine intent to try and get on that right-hand side and push, but then they got us on that counter, I think, just killed the game massively. And now Noble at 10 just says that, I think Moyes is looking at Tuesday going, yeah. This is basically Moyes just waving the white flag now. You are right, Charles, though. Noble's sitting a bit deeper here. Decent ball.
Liverpool just taking the mick out of us now. And you know what? I mean, slightly premature, and to be fair, he's definitely not going to get man of the match, but my player of the game for West Ham has got to be Craig Dawson. I thought he's been outstanding.
Phenomenal.
I thought he's been outstanding.
It was very good.
He's certainly done well, considering, let's be fair, this is, on paper, other than City, the best team on the league. He's definitely played a lot better than any of us would have hoped. If he was at the beginning of the season, by the way, we'd be starting Craig Dawson against Liverpool. We would probably all have collective heart attacks, wouldn't we?
Well, mate, I said in the preview, I said Craig Dawson's going to get tested today. And actually, when he had one-on-ones and he went to meet the ball, we won it every time. So it's a bit hard for me.
He's not actually been at fault for anything. And he put on a fantastic block first half and a fantastic tackle early in the second half. Nearly got us a goal,
Yeah, I just think the legend, his form continues.
God, it's such a horrible game in a way to watch. I'm so used to us being in the game, fan.
Just want it to be over, don't you?
It's just one of them. Trying to pick the bones of this is going to be fun.
I don't know whether you've seen it, but there was a moment where Salah and Alexander-Arnold were, 3-0.
You're joking.
Another great goal, another really great well-worked goal. Wijnaldum with Firmino assisting.
Oh, great. Firmino's came on, had assist. Fucking triple captain that. My mate's got triple captain, so that will be fucking multiple points for him. What a cunt.
That is, it's a very tasty looking goal.
Is it another good goal, or did we make any mistakes in the build-up?
We're basically... we did. We're basically doing what we did.
Oh, fucking hell. We've not done well there. I'm sorry. We've not done well.
We haven't.
I'd say we haven't necessarily made mistakes. We've not done well.
No, but I mean, I'd say we're basically doing a Man United, but we're just literally capitulating and kind of letting them just control the game now, absolutely dominate. It's a nice back heel from Ox, and a good little pass back from Firmino to Wijnaldum. Like you said, not great defending, but well taken, a good tasty little goal.
The movement from Firmino is very good.
Yeah. Go on, Benny. Go on, son. Do something for us.
Goodness sake. We've been put to the sword here, mate. Let's be honest.
I bet Gold and Sullivan are on the phone to their best South American club and asking for their best talent available for loan tomorrow.
When deadline midnight tonight?
Tomorrow.
11
tomorrow, I think.
Is it 11? Yeah.
11 our time, yeah, so I'm not sure how it translates. I'm going to get another beer, lads, on that note.
Get another tea.
Yeah, I tell you what, I feel like it, man.
Well, we have a corner and a chance for Craig Dawson to make himself even more of a legend.
I need a Sushek or an Antonio goal.
And it's headed out for another corner.
Of course, it's going to have to be a Sushek goal.
Oh, God. We need to do a video with the Curb Your Enthusiasm music of all of us being positive before the game.
If Corey gives me the clips, I'll be able to do that. I did a Curb Your Enthusiasm over the.
That'd be great.
Spurs, if you remember.
That'd be perfect.
That what?
Oh,
won't be perfect.
Dawson's gone! Craig Dawson's gone! Craig Dawson!
I took him out my fucking fantasy team!
Craig Dawson, get it! Yeah.
Come on, the comeback's on! The comeback is on!
You know what? I don't care how this game goes. That's made my day. That's made my day. That's it. That's all that. Corey!
Dawson has fucking scored!
Yes! Come on,
Craig Dawson, mate. Craig Dawson. No, it's genuinely Craig Dawson. It's Craig Dawson.
I took him out of my fucking fantasy team so I could bring on fucking Antonio.
I literally got
That's the biggest fraud.
I went to go get
Antonio is a fucking fraud. I took out Dawson so I could put fucking Antonio in my team.
Look, Klopp's even laughing at it. Klopp's even laughing.
Look at the guile of Craig Dawson where it's kind of come off his knee a bit where he's made the move. Lovely.
Dawson is statistically better than Virgil van Dijk.
Oh my God, that is amazing.
What in a few games
Based on every aspect of his game.
I tell you what, I'm calling these Craig Dawson goals at the moment. That's 2 matches in a row I've called Craig Dawson goals. Beautiful.
I've got to be honest, that is horrific defending for Firmino. Firmino hasn't even tried to clear the ball.
This is exactly what we needed, a little mood booster.
No, credit where credit's due, Craig Dawson has had a very, very good game when captain with a goal.
Come on, the comeback's on, lads. Come on.
Come on, West Ham.
It definitely isn't.
Going to be top
Who knew that Noble coming on would make the difference?
I'll behave yourself. Unless I'm an open play that I haven't seen.
Oh, God.
Look. Well done, Sufa. Go on.
Unbelievable.
How did we win that corner, by the way? Was it just...
it was Robert. We had another corner and Robertson headed it out for another corner. And then Cresswell whipped it in. So anyone who's got Cresswell in their FPLs.
I mean, I don't think it would have made too much difference, but when you look how poor that defending is, you just think...
Cresswell didn't. I've got Cresswell on my team. He hasn't got an assist. Oh, he has got an assist somehow.
He should have, yeah. That was a corner.
How has he only got 1 point? He's only got 1 point according to FPL, despite getting an assist.
It takes a while to reload, I think.
That's something. I took Dawson out of my team so I could put Antonio and keep Sushi.
Dennis, do not go against Lord
Craig. Craigie D.
Craigie D, mate. Craigie D.
Oh, I just love it. I actually love him.
I almost hate how much humble pie I have to eat with Craig Dawson, regularly. But I got it so wrong.
Honestly,
I love it.
Really...
Oh, honestly, Leslie, if you're still watching, tell them how crappy he is, please.
Definitely not West Ham. Maybe the coaching was bad at Watford.
Evidently he's not.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. The thing is, and again, even now, I see retweet stuff from mates by the Watford accounts going, West Ham are going to give us $2 million for Dawson. Oh, I'll take your arm off. Do you know someone put on social media? This is what it reminds me of. Do you remember in the World Cup when we said England were going to win it and we were terrible, and then we nearly got to that semi-final? I mean, that's like Craig Dawson where we're like, oh, he's awful. Where was this?
I know, he's actually
That's
quite
3 goals in 5 games, Craig Dawson, and he's in our top 5 top goal scorers. Unreal.
Oh, come
We've just lost the ball, in case you didn't hear.
Yeah, come on, in the background, you hear someone go, yeah, come on!
It's because we just lost the ball. Ben Ryan just lost the ball. Oh, God.
You
know what? That's honestly that's made this game. You know what? Fine. If this game ends in a 3-1 loss, at least Craig Dawson's got on the team sheet, score sheet. Sorry, but yeah, great stuff.
He'll always get on the team sheet, mate, with his form at the moment.
Oh, absolutely. He's first name down these days. I mean, if he wasn't West Ham's player of the game before, he definitely is now.
Yeah, look how much space they have, honestly.
The funny thing was, he was, regardless of the goal, as you said, he deserved it. So
yeah, no, exactly. There's a great tweet that someone's just released saying David Golden Sullivan explaining to David Moyes why he doesn't need a striker because Craig Dawson is scoring. I bet they actually have that conversation as well.
Better not do, mate. Tell you what, that'll throw me right off.
You know what, Moyes? We were going to get a striker in, but Craig's been doing quite well up top for you.
Stick Craigie up top, yeah? He gets himself about a bit.
Do you know what I can see happening? Something like, we'll think we're getting this striker in and they'll sign Craig on a permanent deadline day and go, there you go.
You got our striker.
Oh, g'day. Oh. He's your striker.
How much more will we need to buy to pay Dawson now? I think it's like 2-3 mil in it. That's been
it's very smart.
But there is no option to buy according to X. So it's just whatever Watford feel is appropriate. But I think he's only got.
That's great. On this form, it'll be 10 mil the way he's going.
No. But he's out. He's out of contract in 2022. So this summer it will be last year of his deal. So he'll only.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
He only signed a 3-year deal when he signed for them. So.
God, honestly, man, I just want to get this game over with. Just look forward to
it. I mean, I'm looking over Twitter and there's a lot of negativity around this performance. And yeah, it's not been a great performance, but at the end of the day, it's Liverpool.
We played worse this year. We definitely
completely. This is our worst performance at all.
Not our worst performance. Just Liverpool are that good.
No, that's exactly what I was going to say. I think it's easy to sit there and go, yes, they lost personnel. Look how good they are as a team, though. Do you know? And yes, they have options either way to bring off the bench. Firmino and Curtis Jones changed the game. So it's a bit like we had to go for it at some point.
Yeah,
we
could have done things differently, yes, but I still think 3-1 might be a bit harsh on us, but it's not exactly unfair.
There's a full-time whistle, boys.
I can finally stop caring. Right.
That's how I feel. Listen, West Ham, unfortunately...
Never wearing the fucking turtleneck ever again.
Yeah, get rid of it. Burn it, mate.
We'll keep it for fans' voice, mate.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, just don't wear it again to a watch-along. I mean, how are we going to sum that one up? Listen, West Ham lost 3-1 to Liverpool. That they were the better side. They did deserve to win. I think defensively we were good in the first half. I think we limited Liverpool as much as we could. We did have chances, to be fair to us. We didn't take them. Second half, I think Liverpool switched up the gear. The minute they brought Curtis Jones on for Milner, the runs in beyond stretched the power position. They got a good goal. Hit us on the counter when we pushed it, and we brought Benny to the left and Yarma down in the 10 role. And then for me, the third goal was just out of position again. And Firmino pulling the strings. It is, for me, more so the quality of Liverpool than it was how bad West Ham is. But I do understand people saying that we didn't quite go for it. But every time we seemed to go for it, they got on the counter and they hurt us. So, again, I'm not sure too much. I can't believe I was expecting us to possibly get a result in this game. But it just shows you how good a side Liverpool are, I think, ultimately. And there's nothing to be too despondent about. We go again Tuesday, and I'm sure we'll be much more in the game than we were today.
Exactly.
Silence.
Yes. Oh, God. It's difficult, isn't it, lads? I mean, Angus, thoughts on that, mate? Can we sum it up?
I think the 3 goals was harsh. I think 2 was probably more the way that it should have ended. And unfortunately, that wasn't reflected in the scoreline. But we did well to get the goal. I think the problem for me is, sure, Liverpool were a good side today, but it doesn't really matter who we're playing. I don't think at the end of the day we weren't ambitious enough for 80 minutes of the game, and literally as soon as we conceded the first one, that the 2 minutes afterwards we looked the best, and that's how it usually pans out for all clubs that are looking to sit back. But I genuinely think had we been a bit more ambitious, tried to take the game to them a tiny bit more, we could have created more chances. But they're a quality team. I think we just. It's not necessarily the end of the world, I don't think, in the course of our season, because the unbeaten run meant absolutely nothing. And we don't have long to dwell on our mistakes or our loss, because we've got Villa, and that we need to bounce back, and that's the most important thing now.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
I will say as well, to concede the second goal the way that we did it, in large parts, the first and the second goal, I'm glad we conceded them the way that we did, because you do just have to. There was quality involved in that. You have to hold your hand up and say fair play, in particular for the second one. But even the Salah finish was really good. I think the third goal was a bit more of a problem, but the game had gone by that stage. So
definitely.
Yeah, they were the better team. They deserved the points.
I think it's. I don't know about how Charles and Dennis feel about it, but I'm not sure. We could have done two. I don't think there was too many individual mistakes in that game. There wasn't anything clearly to point out to say West Ham were bad for this reason. And I think when we got to half time, we still felt we were in the game. So I guess that,
and we nearly went 1-0 up a minute before we conceded. Like, it wasn't a bad performance by us. It's just one of those days, and we're against one of the two top attacking teams in the league. Salah. I'm not going to comment because I know I annoy people with him, but my opinions on Salah, everyone fucking knows. Yeah. But and all I'd say is that Craig Dawson statistically is better than Virgil van Dijk. So eat that, Liverpool fans watching this.
In fairness, I don't know how you can get so riled up against Salah when the fact is he's scored 3 goals more than any other Premier League player this season.
He's a diving cunt! He just throws himself to the floor no matter what.
In his defence, they were 2 very good goals.
They were quality goals, which makes it even more annoying that he has to act like a petulant.
But the difference is he didn't do that in this game, though, did he? Do you know what I mean?
It's what I call it's the Grealish effect. It's the Grealish effect. You don't like the guy, but you respect the talent he has.
Yeah, I think we'll be more frustrated with Grealish on Tuesday, if I'm honest. I think he's definitely
honestly, he's definitely going to...
The difference between Salah and Grealish is that Salah, if he feels contact, will go, but Grealish will actually actively wait for the contact, and then he'll do it. So it's a bit like, pick your poison a bit.
The problem
is smart.
The problem is more with the system. Like, you have to go... The Masuaku one earlier in the season was a penalty. If he doesn't go down, it's not given. If he does go down, it is given. So you have to go down. Like, that is the reality of it. So you have to play. That is the sad reality of it. You have to play. And you look at the Ben Rama one earlier in this half. In the first half. That was just as bad as the Salah foul that he drawed in the first half as well. So, yeah, that's the way that it is for me. But in terms of it's just one of those games, well, we didn't show... we let them play onto us. We didn't really show anything. We didn't test Alisson, at least. So, we weren't good enough, I don't think. And sure, individual mistakes might not necessarily have occurred as frequently as they have in the past, but you don't need individual mistakes to concede goals. That's the sad reality of it, especially when you've got a Liverpool team hitting on the counter. What you do need is a tiny bit of ambition against a side that, if you sit up against them, we'll just put goals past you. So that was my problem with that. And I genuinely think on merit, we could have beaten them. But that's the way it is.
I just see it as we were better. We played better today than we did at home to them last year and the years prior. We have traditionally at home not played very well against Liverpool. Since moving to London Stadium, I think at home this was the best performance we had against them. Away was a little bit different. We pushed them to the limit at Anfield last year, if you remember, and we did very well against them earlier. It was only the last 10-15 minutes we lost it against them at Anfield earlier this season. So that's when I say, just again, it's just a game where, look, they had chances, they took them, and they scored. We could have done better, of course. We could always have done better, but I don't think it was a bad performance today by West Ham. Just Liverpool have better personnel. It's as simple as that. I said it to one of my mates who's a Liverpool fan who's mouthing off, "Oh, you're rubbish, you're rubbish." I'm like, well done, mate. You've got multiple players that are signed for over £50 million and worth even more. You beat the team that's been fucking asset stripped by a bunch of cunts that run us. Well done, mate. Well done. We're way above based on how the season started, and we done really well and lost to a better team. So I don't see losing to Liverpool at home. We're not the only team that's going to do that this year. But like Angus said on another day, we could have taken chances. We could have beaten them. We could have maybe created more chances. I wouldn't be too worried about losing this game today. Personally,
I don't think anyone is.
No, do you know what? I knew inevitably. That's why I bigged it up so much of us being in fourth place or fifth place at the time, because we know that the run that we've got to go on, the teams that we've got to face. We know we're not going to keep that level of consistency. I think Moyes looked at it and thought, do I go for it or do I try and nick something? And I feel like he felt like, let's just try and nick something here, because he was afraid of getting opened up. And you have to look at the individual moments at times. And listen, they opened us up, and they've obviously got that quality. And as much as Salah does dive, Dennis, his quality today was in full effect. So it's difficult to pick the bones out of it. It's so annoying. I'm so annoyed. But at the end of the day, they're a fantastic side, and credit to them. They got some decent goals. So. Charles, any way to wrap this one up, my friend?
Yeah, I mean, just what the boys said. It's obviously disappointing to lose. It always is, especially with sort of the great form that we've been on. But like you say, Corey, I mean, this Liverpool team. I'm going to sound like a broken record, but just it was a weak Liverpool side doesn't mean it was a bad Liverpool side. It was a team that we were always gonna face problems with, and they came out. To be fair, they've actually played the best they have done in a while against us today. They haven't been great in their last few games, but today they really showed up, and obviously with great quality goals for them to score. So I mean, like Dennis said, I'm not too disappointed. I'm more concerned about the game coming on Wednesday, a much bigger game in my opinion, where you've got two teams that are more likely to be in and amongst the same sort of position. And I think that's going to be a really big game for us. So if we can go there and win, then that will definitely eradicate any of the disappointment from today's defeat. But I mean, what I would say to wrap it up from my end in terms of tomorrow, we have to sign a striker. We have to sign another striker. Yeah, it has to be done. It has to be done. I mean, the fact that we haven't even signed another centre midfielder is gutting enough. But the fact is that striker is the position that we desperately, desperately, desperately need cover for. And if we don't get that tomorrow, then all the Jim Whites and all the Simon Jordans and Lee Claytons, that is the problem. This club. That is the problem. That's what they need to see. They need to see a club in fifth place not having ambitious owners, or not having ambitious enough owners to go out and get the players needed to support Moyes. Moyes has done a cracking job. All the fans behind Moyes and the backroom staff and the players. And, this defeat isn't going to derail that for any of us. We're very proud of what they've done so far this season. But you've got to give us something. You've got to give us something more to go off of. Yeah, it's been a good season. And if we finished the season today, it would be a great season. But the season isn't finished. And as Dennis has said in the past, people are going to catch up. People are going to pick up points, and we might lose points and go further down the table. So it baffles me that we haven't signed a striker. I mean, we've signed Lingard, of course, but again, not a striker, not a centre midfielder in my eyes.
Discount the fact that you played a couple of games up front for Derby in 2014.
Yes, well, of course, I'm missing that fact. But aside from that,
all right, Dennis, settle down. He's not a 9.
I know. That's the point I'm saying. When people say, "Oh, he can play as a 9," he played in the Championship for Derby a couple of games.
Do you know what? It's one of them things, and Charles is right to bring it up, because it's easy for us now to be where we're at, and Mickey Antonio to be fully fit and us to say on to the next game. But inevitably, he'll get an injury at some point, won't he? Let's be honest. He's not going to stay fully fit.
Literally, next game, Villa, after the transfer window goes, guaranteed if he pulls up with an injury. Sod's law. You know, we're going to really regret this. Oh, we don't need to strike with Antonio. And, you know, and again, like I put a tweet out earlier this week in response to Trevor Sinclair with his clarification saying that, look, the owners make it all about them when it goes well. Well, therefore, they've got to own it when it doesn't go well. So when we inevitably fall short because we haven't got the depth, they need to fucking own that. If they want to own our success this season and try and say, well, you know, what do West Ham fans expect? Well, when things inevitably go tits up, they got to own that as well, you know. And so we don't get a striker, and if it costs us later on this year, the onus goes on the owner, not David Moyes, not the coaching staff, and certainly not the players. The players are playing as well as they can with the result, with you know, the team that we've got, you know.
I think to be honest, I think just even that game generally, that there wasn't too many bad individual performances. We're not sitting here slating anyone. Shows how far we've come. There is a consistency in our performances. That's the most important thing to take from this. And where we are in this position now is a bit of a smokescreen in a way, because we have come up against Burnley, West Brom, Crystal Palace, but we won the games that we needed to win. These type of games are always difficult to win. It's about bouncing back next week against Villa, much more competitive, and then going into Fulham and Sheffield United and picking up those points. And then we'll get a balanced view. But I think West Ham fans this season, in terms of our perspective on the team, are more balanced because the team's performing more consistently.
I think there's pros and cons to having individual performances or individual mistakes giving away games, though, because, you know, on one side you've got an on-form West Ham side who are 6 unbeaten, who didn't challenge Liverpool today. That's the reality. They had miles more shots on target, and we gave us like 33% possession or something ridiculous like that. And it, you know, as much as it is a very good Liverpool team, but it's not the Liverpool team that we usually see. And we've been playing so well. So for us to fold like that and look at it and say, well, no one really had a bad game. There's a problem in that. Or you look at it the other way and say, no individual performances we can build on it. But usually no individual mistakes. Because usually if there is an individual mistake, then, you know, the player can hold their hand up, can see where the problem is and say, you know what, I shouldn't have done that, my fault. Or, you have a performance where no one really does anything wrong and you still end up being dominated and losing a game by 3 goals. It would have been before
between a rock and a hard
centre-back on loan from a championship side put one in the back of the net because Firmino wasn't defending. So, yeah.
I think in response to DJ as well. Sorry, Angus. In response to DJ, I don't think Juan's available. I think Nagelsmann or whoever's in charge there has ruled him out.
Does anyone here think what Dennis isn't here to do is David Sullivan impression, that we will actually get any striker on loan, if at all, before the end of the window? Because I just personally don't feel at this stage.
I don't have a clue. I would imagine not. But,
I don't think so either.
I pray, but I mean, the fact that we've left it this late. I mean, if you're expecting someone like Juan or Dia or anyone we were linked with earlier, forget about it. It's going to be some bog standard Hugo sort of thing.
Sorry, mate, to interrupt you, but it was just funny about the Huang thing, because Nagelsmann said he's not going anywhere. You think someone would have asked Nagelsmann that question earlier in the month to cite it out a little bit before going, oh yeah, he doesn't want to, if he can't let him go. Like,
well, these are the problems, and that's why the call on TalkSport the other day was frustrating. We talked about it a little bit before the show, and it's just, you know, there are obvious errors with the running and management of this club from the top, and we're seeing them play out now, and we've seen them play out for years, and you know, something needs to change and something needs to be done. Hopefully someone can go on one of those talk shows and talk some sense. We might have to get Dennis on to do it, but
sure.
Well, actually, now I've said that, it's maybe not a good idea, to be fair.
Let's be honest.
Yeah, he'd control half an hour of that show. And here he is now.
Right. Dennis, do you want your final word on things before I wrap this one up, buddy?
I've got minutes, so I've had internet problems. I'm not sure what happens or something like that. I've already summed up. But for me, the big difference, what would have made a massive difference today was having an option or two off the bench to maybe change things up when things weren't obviously working, break them down, or to get it up. But if we're going to get too annoyed about every time we lose to fucking Liverpool. We're going to have very angry.
Yeah, we are. I'm too used to it.
We had that 3 games over in the prior year, but Liverpool have come on leaps and bounds under Jurgen Klopp. No, I definitely didn't go into a pillow, mate. I'm not too bothered. I just, again, just my opinions on Liverpool and stuff like that are made very well known, and mainly how annoying their fans are.
The best way to sort your troubles out when West Ham lose.
I thought the main one was Salah, followed closely by Klopp, not the fans.
Oh no,
it's everyone, mate. Do you not know? Everything red. It gets him riled.
If you let me get my words out, I've got multiple very deluded, multiple Liverpool fans that are now going, ooh, look, it's like their fucking cup final is beating West Ham. It's kind of tragic, really. Like, I've currently got 37 WhatsApp notifications from 2 groups, which have Liverpool fans in there. Speaks volumes, so.
It's going to be an interesting title race now. Liverpool seems to be picking up a bit of form, but let's just end it there. Everyone that's watching, like the stream, subscribe to the West Ham Way if you're new. Loads more content coming up. There'll be a post-match reaction. Unfortunately, I've actually organised an opposition match reaction, which is not going to be fun in any way, shape or form, but you'll have it anyway.
Bring a Doncaster fan on again, go on.
Yeah, just to make it feel bad. Or any of the teams we beat before this time.
Yeah.
You'll have your predicted 11 tactical breakdown for the Aston Villa game, where hopefully West Ham will pick up a bit of form and compete a little bit more. That would be very, very nice. And we'll return for the watch-along on Tuesday evening. I think it's a slightly later one, lads, if I'm not.
I don't think so. I think it is a 6 o'clock one again. I could be wrong.
I thought it was a bit of an 8 o'clock one. But anyway, you'll be there. We'll all be there. Angus will have his coffee on tap as well, just to keep himself going. And until next time, take care.
No, yeah, it is 8 o'clock. Sorry, mate. Yeah.
Until next time, take care. See you later.